Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. I, Saiyan Prince, The Wind Rises Ultra Ego 3. Chapter 41. Next time if you talk nonsense again, I will beat you too. Vados said with a smile. The sudden attack. I didn't even have time to prepare for it. Caulifla hummed. Vados smiled and said nothing more. Not long after, Feng Yang also came back from afar. What happened to Feng Yang? Caulifla asked. Can you beat her? It's okay. Let's have a 5-5 for the time being. Feng Yang nodded. Vados, what is 50 to 50? The two of us didn't fight well, okay. Have you ever fought like this? How shameless. What I mean is, one of us is on the top and the other is on the bottom, so it's just 50 to 50, isn't it? Feng Yang lowered his voice and whispered in Vados' ear. Vados' face was red at that moment, and he gave Feng Yang a hard look. Chunhua Chu Shi, I'm tired, take out my bathtub. Feng Yang stretched. Yes, Your Highness. The two beautiful little maids nodded immediately. The two ran into the room to get the bathtub. Soon, a large bathtub was carried out by two little maids. Chunhua and Chu Shi each took out a blue water drop and put it gently in the bathtub. Snapped. Suddenly, the water in the bathtub immediately floated to the right position. Feng Yang stretched out his arms. Chunhua and Chu Shi went forward to undress Feng Yang with blushing faces. Vados, are you going to change here? Vados wiped his sweat. The prince wants to take a bath, do you want to join me? Feng Yang greeted. Vados, Caulifla, Ziyao. Kale blushed and turned away. Although Caulifla is usually quite nervous, she still knows a little about this kind of thing. Caulifla turned around immediately. Chunhua and Chu Shi undressed Feng Yang with blushing faces. There is no way, we are the maids of His Highness the Prince. We have to serve His Royal Highness the Bather. Feng Yang stepped into the bathtub and soaked his whole body in it. It's so comfortable. Feng Yang sighed. This is the treatment of a prince. Now that you have become a prince through time travel, if you don't enjoy yourself, you will be too sorry for your status. Ziyao bit her lower lip tightly. You still say you don't like Feng Yang? Caulifla stepped forward and asked. Shut up. Ziyao stared. Actually, I don't care. After all, he is a prince. It is normal for the future king of Saiyan to have Sanomia in 6th court. Caulifla smiled. Ziyao didn't want to talk anymore. You pig mate. Shouldn't the two of us be united against all women? 10th universe. Rumshi planet. Isn't this Champa? What brought you here? Rumshi asked strangely. Angel, who was beside Rumshi, was also slightly taken aback, looking up and down at Champa. HMPH, I'm in a bad mood, why don't you just come here? Champa snorted and said angrily. Wouldn't it make sense to destroy a planet when you're in a bad mood? Rumshi said with a smile. Gee, didn't Vados come with Master Champa? Kes asked. No, she has other things. Champa shook her head. I see, you must have quarreled with Vados, right? Rumshi stepped forward, patted Champa's shoulder with a big hand, and said with a smile, Angel has that kind of temper, don't be as knowledgeable as them, in fact, sometimes I also get annoyed by the woman next to me. Kessie, what are you talking about? Master Rumshi, Kessie asked with a dark face. Nothing, nothing, Rumshi laughed. Forget it, you can do whatever you want. Kessie shook her head and walked away. Come on Champa, what's the matter? Rumshi asked. Rumshi, how is our relationship? Champa asked. It's not good, anyway, I don't like you in all kinds of ways. Rumshi said. In Champa's heart, 10,000 grass mud horses passed by. Champa didn't want to talk anymore. Tell me what it is first. Rumshi asked. That, a friend of mine was beaten by a person. Champa said. What, you were beaten by someone, by a human? Rumshi was taken aback. I'm talking about my friend, not me. Champa said with a dark face. Ah, your friend. Rumshi nodded, and then laughed. This is the result of your friend not practicing well. You're still laughing. Champa stared. You mean, let me call you back? Rumshi smiled. Just ask if you can help. Champa snorted. Your 6th universe can do it, can human beings be so powerful? Rumshi pondered. HMPH, who knows? Champa hummed, it feels like gods of destruction secretly cultivated by an angel. What, the gods of destruction secretly cultivated by an angel? Wasn't it Vados? Rumshi was taken aback and asked in surprise. Not like Vados. Champa shook her head. Vados has been with me all this time, definitely not her. Which angel is so idle? Go to your universe to cultivate gods of destruction. Rumshi shook the elephant's trunk. Who knows? Champa hummed. You mean that human strength has reached the level of gods of destruction? Rumshi understood. The destructive energy in him is the best proof. Champa said with a dark face. I think apart from Whis, I'm afraid there is no other angel who is so free, and went to your universe to train gods of destruction. Rumshi guessed. You're right, I also guess that Guy Whis did it. Champa was thinking about this issue when he was on the road, and hearing Rumshi say this at this time also confirmed this point. Champa thought about it now. When I saw Whis before, I did see him laughing rather strangely. This shameless guy. They actually went to our universe to cultivate gods of destruction. If that guy Whis really did it, Beerus must have ordered it secretly. Rumshi rolled his elephant trunk and guessed again. You think so too? Champa snorted. But then again, aren't you brothers? That Beerus guy, why did you deliberately target you? Rumshi was a little confused. HMPH, that narrow-minded guy. Champa clenched his fists tightly. It should be because I ate one more piece of chocolate than him last time, and I have a grudge. That's indeed what that narrow-minded guy in Beerus did. Rumshi nodded, letting go of the rolled-up elephant trunk. Some snot came out of the elephant's trunk. Snapped. Snot sprayed Champa all over his face. Rumshi, you fool, what are you doing? Champa flew into a rage. Ah, sorry, I really didn't mean it. Rumshi hurriedly stepped forward to wipe Champa's face, and immediately said, as the hidden gods of destruction you mentioned very strong. Not even you or not him opponent. Champa fell silent. Okay, for the sake of sharing chocolate with me 1,000 years ago, I will help you this time, and I will go with you to teach that family a lesson and let him know that gods of destruction has gods of destruction rules. Rumshi laughed. That's more or less. Champa nodded in satisfaction. Leaving now? Rumshi asked. Of course, it took me a long time to fly here. Champa snorted, and there is still a match between me and Beerus' 7th universe, we have to get back as soon as possible. Then, let's go, let me teach you a lesson about the hidden gods of destruction. Rumshi chuckled, it's been a long time since I've fought, so I'm looking forward to it. Champa nodded. Cuss, I'm going out with Champa. Rumshi greeted Kess in the distance. Okay, Master Rumshi. Kessie nodded. Whoa, whoa. Champa and Rumshi turned into two streamers of purple red light and flew towards the 6th universe. 6th universe. Beauty star. Different dimension space. Kyla. Golden rays of light emerged from Caulifla's body, and streaks of golden lightning emerged throughout her life. Haha, I succeeded. Caulifla felt the huge energy in her body in surprise. Yes, this is Super Saiyan that surpasses Super Saiyan, and it can also be called Super Saiyan 2. Feng Yang nodded in satisfaction. Super Saiyan 2. Caulifla was extremely surprised. Vados was also a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that Caulifla could transform further. Oh, Caulifla is not easy. It only took 3 days to become like this, and the energy increase has reached 100 times the normal level. Vados analyzed. Ziyao's face was slightly moved. Can this transformation increase the strength by 100 times? I also feel that I have inexhaustible power. Caulifla smiled brilliantly. Come on, try to attack me with all your strength. Feng Yang waved at Caulifla. Okay, then I won't be polite. Caulifla nodded, already in a fighting stance. Looking at Feng Yang again, he was still standing there calmly, without transforming. Hey, Feng Yang, don't you change your body? Don't you change into that purple-red hair? Caulifla asked. No need. Feng Yang smiled, if I become like that, I will bully you. Caulifla, call out. Caulifla didn't say any more, turned into a golden light, and appeared directly above Feng Yang in an instant. Caulifla punched with a fist, and the fists fell like raindrops. Feng Yang stretched out his palm to catch all of Caulifla's attacks. The two sides fought for about a minute or so. Shua. Caulifla disappeared in a flash. Feng Yang put one hand behind his back, with a faint smile on his face. Shua. The next moment, Caulifla suddenly appeared behind Feng Yang. Feng Yang, you are careless. Caulifla laughed, and punched Feng Yang in the back. Snapped. Feng Yang dodged to the side, dodging Caulifla's attack. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Feng Yang slapped it, hitting Caulifla on the back of the neck. Caulifla fell to the ground, screaming in pain. Snapped. The golden flame on Caulifla's body also dissipated all of a sudden, and returned to normal. Strange. Why have I become Super Saiyan 2, and am I not your normal opponent? Caulifla asked in surprise, clutching her painful head. There's nothing to be surprised about, because our cultivation paths are different. Feng Yang said with a smile. Feng Yang. How strong are you? Caulifla asked in surprise. Let me tell you this. Feng Yang pondered, after you finish your training, go out from this room, I think your strength should reach 1% of mine. Caulifla, Kyle, Ziyao, Chunhua and Chushi didn't speak, and felt that the prince was getting more and more handsome. You told me yesterday, I can still transform at a higher level? Caulifla asked. That's right. Feng Yang nodded. Your main task today is to stabilize Super Saiyan 2, and tomorrow I will make your transformation a qualitative leap. A qualitative leap. Caulifla's face showed endless expectations, and she couldn't help asking, what is that? If you insist on giving that transformation a name, let's call it Super Saiyan God. Feng Yang said with a smile. Super Saiyan God. Caulifla was stunned. Have you heard of it? Feng Yang asked. No. Caulifla shook her head. Then why is your expression so surprised? Feng Yang asked. I just think this name is so cool. Caulifla grinned. Super Saiyan God, does that mean I've become a god? Basically, that's what it means. Feng Yang nodded. Super Saiyan God, does this kind of transformation really exist? Ziyao couldn't bear it anymore, and walked over from a distance. You know, Caulifla was taken aback, looked at Ziyao and asked. I saw an introduction about Super Saiyan God in the library of the palace. Ziyao nodded lightly. It is said that Super Saiyan God is a very powerful god, who can be compared to gods of destruction. If you say Super Saiyan is the most powerful human being, so Super Saiyan God should be the most powerful god, right? The ancient book said so, but I don't know exactly if it is true. Super Saiyan God is the most powerful god. A god that surpasses gods of destruction. Caulifla was stunned. So, is the purple-red transformation of His Royal Highness the Super Saiyan God? Vados asked from the side. I won't tell you, I won't tell you. I won't tell you. Feng Yang hummed. Vados, Caulifla, Ziyao, sister is amazing. Kale was very excited. Cal, you have to work hard, it takes so much effort for you to become a Super Saiyan. Caulifla patted Kale's arm. Sister, I can't do it, and I don't know why I can't always become a Super Saiyan. Kale lowered his head. It's okay, Kale, work hard, I believe you will become a Super Saiyan. Caulifla comforted. Ziyao rolled her eyes aside. Do you really think anyone can become a Super Saiyan? So the Super Saiyan of our Shidara planet can't be flooded. You and I are the best Saiyan of the younger generation. So it's normal for the two of us to become Super Saiyan. Your little black girl's little follower, don't follow along to join in the fun. Princess, if you don't admit your mistake, really wait until Miss Caulifla turns into a Super Saiyan God, the gap between you and her will become bigger and bigger. Chunhua whispered from the side. That's right, for the past 3 days, His Highness hasn't taken the initiative to speak to you. She said. Ziyao bit her lip, feeling a little bit of grievance. Princess, even if His Highness has many faults, you can't say he is a scumbag, can you? Chunhua said again. Take the initiative to admit your mistake, His Highness will forgive you. She also persuaded. Ziyao didn't know what to say. Princess, do you really want Miss Caulifla to leave you far behind? Chunhua said. Ziyao gritted her teeth, took a deep breath, and walked towards Feng Yang. I'm sorry. Ziyao bowed her head and admitted her mistake. Feng Yang glanced at Ziyao. Do you think you are amazing because you are an iceberg beauty? I am a prince. What kind of woman do I not have? If it weren't for how long you've been with my mother, I'd have kicked you into the universe space long ago. He actually said I was a scumbag. You're right, I have nothing wrong with this person, it's just that I'm too carefree. The 6th house of Sanomia is my biggest ideal for the future king of Saiyan. I don't want to delay you either. You are very good looking. Go out and find someone to marry. Let's go, Feng Yang said to Ziyao. Ziyao felt more and more wronged. bit her lips tightly, tears kept rolling in her eyes. I'm going to sleep. Feng Yang ignored Ziyao and walked into the room. Ziyao hesitated to speak. Chunhua and Chushi followed immediately. You two are still obedient. Feng Yang smiled and put his arms around Chunhua and Chushi's waist. And after entering the room, Your Highness, I don't know if I should say something. Chunhua pondered. Since you know it's inappropriate to say it, don't say it. Feng Yang replied. Chunhua, Your Highness, you don't play your cards according to the routine. Your Highness won't really forget Princess Xiao, right? Chu Shi couldn't help but ask. How to say? Feng Yang was taken aback. I also heard the Empress mention it by chance. Chu Shi replied, I heard that when His Highness was 3 years old, His Highness played very well with a little girl, and then he clamored for the Empress to designate her as your concubine. Quote. Feng Yang was taken aback again. Feng Yang has gradually lost his memories of when he was 3 years old. Now that Chu Shi said this, Feng Yang vaguely remembered it. Feng Yang remembers that when he was 3 years old, he seemed to really have fun with a little girl. The little girl looks very kawaii too. Feng Yang felt at the time that this little girl must be a great beauty when she grows up, and it was also a good choice for her to be his princess. You don't mean to tell me that that little girl is Ziyao? Feng Yang asked. Chunhua and Chushi nodded together. Feng Yang didn't say anything anymore. It turned out that Ziyao was that little girl. Actually, Princess Xiao also remembers playing with His Highness when she was 3 years old. Chu Shi continued, after the queen found Princess Xiao followed into the palace without hesitation. Everything is different, let's talk about it later. Feng Yang sighed. If Xiao really likes me, the attitude towards her should be able to change slightly. If you don't like it, then throw her into limbo. What happened when I was a child, now it's a bit emotional to talk about it. In this way, you two have time to tell her. Feng Yang said, I am a prince, and she is not the only concubine of mine. If she can accept it, she can stay. If she can't accept it, let Vados send her back. Chunhua and Chushi nodded slightly. You two are so obedient, no matter what, I have to give you a first grade. Feng Yang patted Chunhua and Chushi's little hands. Chunhua and Chushi's faces were ruddy, as delicious as a red apple. Feng Yang slept for a while, got up and went outside. Ziyao didn't leave, she still stayed. Feng Yang is quite satisfied with Ziyao's performance. Since you have defaulted, I can treat you better after that. I'm not going to be a licking dog. Vados sighed helplessly. Another day passed. Caulifla's Super Saiyan 2 has been completely stabilized. I have to say that Caulifla is still very talented. After all, in the Dragon Ball Super anime, Caulifla can easily become Super Saiyan 2. But her transformation is not very stable. Now Feng Yang cultivates Caulifla according to his own ideas, so that her strength will definitely be greatly improved. Today, I will make Caulifla a god, Feng Yang said to the girls present. Caulifla felt a burst of excitement and anticipation. Vados was also immediately interested. Can Caulifla become a god? What does Super Saiyan God look like? Vados was still curious. Caulifla, you stand in the middle. Feng Yang ordered. Chunhua and Chushi, Kair, Xiao, form a circle around her, come and hold hands with me. When Xiao heard Feng Yang take the initiative to talk to her, she immediately nodded obediently, feeling a little excited in her heart. His Highness finally took the initiative to talk to me. Ziyao quickly stepped forward and stood up. Afterwards, Feng Yang pulled the 4 of them and surrounded Caulifla in the middle. Feng Yang, what about me? Do you need me to do anything? Caulifla asked. You don't need to do anything, just calm your mind. Feng Yang replied. Caulifla bowed her head slightly, took a deep breath, and calmed down. Now, Xiao, Kair, Chunhua and Chushi, the 5 of us send the justice in our hearts to Caulifla. Feng Yang told the 4 girls, remember, it's not about imparting energy to her. Is to feel the justice in your heart, and you will find that you can condense the light of justice. What we have to do is to transmit these lights of justice to Caulifla. I'll give it a try. Ziyao nodded slightly, and slowly closed her eyes. Chunhua and Chushi also silently feel the justice in their hearts. Kale's expression also became serious. Does Kale have justice? Some. Although Kale will later become the legendary Super Saiyan, there is a possibility that he will lose his mind. But that's just losing his mind, doesn't mean Kale is an evil Saiyan. It can be said that the Saiyans on the Shidara planet basically have a righteous side. In this way, Feng Yang feels that Super Saiyan God can basically be mass-produced. Of course, if this experiment is successful, Feng Yang decided to let his father become a Super Saiyan God first, and continue to stabilize his throne, so as to prepare for my succession in the future. What gods of destruction? Feng Yang will not be gods of destruction. Wouldn't it be nice for me to be a king on planet Shidara? But this beauty star is also a very good choice. Go out and have a look after training. If the above are really beauties, they can spread their branches and leaves on this planet, and let us Saiyan multiply in this universe. I just don't know if the beauties of beauty stars can give birth to children after they are together with men. This has to be tried slowly. All of a sudden I got a little confused. Okay, you have all felt the justice in your heart and successfully condensed the light of justice. Feng Yang said with satisfaction, now we send all the light of justice to Caulifla. Ziyao and the others nodded lightly, and transmitted all the light of justice in their hands to Caulifla. Flame gradually burned on Caulifla's body. Snapped. The next moment, Caulifla's hair also immediately turned fiery red. Vados froze for a moment in the distance, also feeling the divine power released from Caulifla. Sure enough, he became a god. Okay, Feng Yang greeted. Ziyao and the others immediately stepped back, and looked at the transformed Caulifla without blinking. Sister, your aura has completely disappeared, Kale said hastily. Is this Super Saiyan God? Ziyao cautiously walked to Feng Yang's side, and asked out of words. Yeah, I believe you can't sense her breath, right? Feng Yang smiled. Ziyao felt relieved and nodded slightly. That's because the aura on Caulifla's body has been replaced with divine power. You are not a god, so it's normal that you can't sense her divine power. Feng Yang explained. Can I become like that too? Ziyao asked. Yes. Feng Yang looked back at Ziyao. Ziyao also raised her head and looked straight at Feng Yang. There was a brief silence. I'm sorry, Your Highness, I shouldn't call you a scumbag, Ziyao said softly. Okay, it's all in the past, so there's no need to mention it in the future. Feng Yang comforted. Well, yes, Ziyao nodded happily. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I will turn you into a Super Saiyan God. Feng Yang comforted again. Yeah, Ziyao nodded her head vigorously, her expression a little excited. Sure enough, following His Royal Highness, the strength will be greatly improved. Caulifla, quickly tell me how you feel after transforming. Chu Shi asked quickly. How should I put it? This transformation does have an improvement from quantitative change to qualitative change. Caulifla muttered, and immediately turned to look at Ziyao. Ziyao, you can become a Super Saiyan and compete with me briefly. Bar. HMPH, who is afraid of whom? After Ziyao hesitated for a while, golden light bloomed on her body, and she became Super Saiyan. I'm going to attack, Caulifla said, about to take the initiative to launch an attack. You wait a moment, Feng Yang said. Caulifla stopped immediately, turned her head to look at Feng Yang, showing doubts on her face. Remember the feeling of your transformation. In the future, you need to make your own efforts to become like this, instead of letting the five of us inject you with the light of justice. Feng Yang said. Okay, I'll remember. Caulifla nodded and said to Ziyao with a smile, Ziyao, are you ready? HMPH, you can attack me anytime. Ziyao snorted. Shua. With a flash of Caulifla's figure, a ball of flame was left on the spot, which disappeared in an instant. In less than a blink of an eye, Caulifla appeared behind Ziyao. Ziyao's eyes widened, her expression was stunned, and she immediately looked back. Hey! The next moment, Ziyao punched Caulifla with all her might. Snapped. Caliph stretched out a finger, and easily blocked Ziyao's attacking fist. Hee, it really is a god, I am so strong. Caulifla smiled brighter and brighter. Ziyao was completely stunned. Was my all-out attack blocked by her so easily? And she blocked my attack with just one finger. Sure enough, Super Saiyan God is a qualitative change. I also want to be like this. Feng Yang, can you still beat me without changing your body? Caulifla didn't bully Ziyao, but looked at Feng Yang expectantly. You can try it. Feng Yang smiled slightly. Then I won't be polite. Caulifla said. You're welcome, just come. Feng Yang said with a smile. Call out. Caulifla turned into a fiery red light, and quickly rushed towards Feng Yang. The next moment, Caulifla launched a fierce attack on Feng Yang. Feng Yang blocked all of Caulifla's attacking fists and feet. It's just Caulifla, who just became Super Saiyan God. Feng Yang is really sure to block her attack through normality. But if Caulifla practiced hard, Feng Yang wouldn't dare to push her so hard. In fact, Feng Yang's normal state is basically the strength of Super Saiyan God. No, to be precise, it should be the peak strength of Super Saiyan God. If self-intention is activated, Feng Yang's strength will be greatly improved. Self-consciousness too, it will double. Feng Yang accompanied Caulifla for about half an hour. Snapped. The fiery red light on Caulifla's body dissipated all of a sudden, and returned to normal. How is it? It takes a few days to comprehend the transformation of Super Saiyan God by yourself. Feng Yang asked with a smile. It's hard to say, but I don't think 5 or 6 days should be a big problem. Caulifla dragged her delicate chin and pondered. Okay, then you go on. Feng Yang nodded. Sister, come on, you will do it. Kale said to Caulifla. Cal, don't blame me, you should quickly find a way to become a Super Saiyan, besides, you are the slowest among them, Chunhua and Chushi can already become Super Saiyan. Caulifla said. Okay sister, I will work hard, please give me a little more time. Kale nodded embarrassingly. Feng Yang glanced at Kale again and didn't say much. The transformation of the legendary Super Saiyan may need to accumulate more energy. After all, once Kale transforms, his strength can reach the level of Super Saiyan God, and even surpass Super Saiyan God. Prince Feng Yang. Vados leaned forward and said to Feng Yang. What's the matter? Feng Yang looked at Vados. Oh, it seems that I have no other use for staying. Vados sighed, you basically trained them. Don't worry. Feng Yang smiled, when Caulifla and Xiao achieve a higher transformation, you can accompany them to practice hard. Is there a higher transformation? Vados was a little surprised, and asked, is it your gods of destruction form? No, my transformation is quite exceptional. Feng Yang shook his head. Don't be so troublesome, now their strength should have surpassed those 2 Saiyans from the 7th universe. Vados replied. Vados, never underestimate your opponent. Feng Yang said seriously. Vados suddenly felt that there was nothing wrong with Feng Yang's words. It's like me, maybe one day I will leave you far behind. Feng Yang grinned. Vados. But then again, Prince Feng Yang. Vados pondered, how do you understand this destruction? Do you have any relationship with other gods of destruction? What are you talking about? It's also the first time I've seen Champa, the gods of destruction. Feng Yang smiled. Vados is dubious. Would you believe me if I said that I saw the cultivation method in the library in our palace? Feng Yang asked. Kangshu Pavilion. What kind of cultivation method? Vados was stunned and asked. As long as you focus on destroying things and don't think about anything, you can continuously improve your own strength. Feng Yang replied. Vados was stunned. Do you understand destruction like this? So how amazing is this kid's talent? Is destruction so simple to comprehend? As an angel, Vados has learned a lot today. No, you didn't focus on sabotage. Vados shook his head. How to say? Feng Yang was taken aback. In addition to destroying, don't you still want to build the Sanomiya 6 in temple? Vados asked with a smile. Well, I usually focus on destroying things, and when I sleep, I think about messing with Sanomiya 6th court. Feng Yang grinned. Vados. Vados shook his head lightly and said no more. If Vados were forced to say it, Vados can only say, the talent of this Prince Feng Yang is simply too enchanting. It's a pity that you don't become gods of destruction. Vados sighed, if you become gods of destruction, you may become the strongest gods of destruction. No, I'm not gods of destruction. Feng Yang shook his head and refused decisively, my goal is to become the greatest king of Shidara. Vados was speechless. Your layout is small. The king of Shidara is just the lord of a planet. The gods of destruction is the god of the entire universe. After I become the greatest king of Shidara, I will build a luxurious Sangong and Luyuan. Feng Yang showed his expectation. Vados clutches the black line on his forehead. Your ideal. I am speechless. There are 3,000 beauties in the harem, and iron pestles are ground into embroidery needles. Vados sighed. Feng Yang, who are you talking about embroidery needles? Actually, Vados, I think you are the most suitable to be my future queen. Feng Yang said. Oh, that's only with my father's permission. Vados smiled. After the match with 7th Universe is over, I will bring a gift to visit your father and ask him to betroth you to me as the future queen. Feng Yang said seriously. What if my father disagrees? Vados suppressed a laugh. You won't feel bad if you beat him up. Feng Yang chuckled. Then you have to be able to beat my father. Vados smiled. You actually want to beat up my father? It is not certain who beats whom. My father is the most powerful god in the universe. You can't even beat me, why do you think you can beat my father? Well, I'm looking forward to you taking on my father. Vados smiled. Yeah, it's such a happy decision. Feng Yang nodded solemnly. Grand Priest, it feels a bit difficult to challenge him now. But that's okay. One day I will surpass him. Set yourself a small goal first. Beat the Grand Priest and beat all angels. Gods of destruction is not enough for me after all. As for gods of destruction Beerus, Feng Yang didn't notice it at all. Both Feng Yang and Champa were able to fight with ease. No matter how strong Beerus is, how strong can it be? ... Time passed day by day. Before I knew it, 3 months had passed in a different dimension. Snapped. Ziyao and Caulifla's bodies bloomed with blue light, and they had already turned into Super Saiyan Blue. The two launched a violent attack on Vados. Vados nimbly dodges all punches and kicks from both of them. Shua, Ziyao's speed suddenly increased a lot. Caulifla also keeps changing her figure, appearing behind Vados. The two punched Vados at the same time, one behind the other. Snapped. Vados turned quickly and flamboyantly, reaching out to catch the fists of the two men. Okay, today's training is over. Vados smiled. The 3 of them fell slowly from the sky. Not bad. In just 3 months, you have raised your strength to this level. Vados smiled. Hey, I'm looking forward to what it will look like in a year. Caulifla grinned. HMPH, I will definitely not lose to you. Ziyao snorted. Feng Yang looked at Ziyao from the side, and then at Vados, feeling very satisfied. In just 3 months, 2 people can become Super Saiyan Blue. Prince Feng Yang, they have basically stabilized their Super Saiyan Blue transformation, should they continue to practice? Vados asked. Of course, this is just the beginning. Feng Yang nodded. It's become so powerful, you said it's just the beginning. Vados wiped his sweat. Where is this? Feng Yang shook his head. You don't want to train them to be as strong as you, do you? Vados lowered his voice and asked, that would put your status in jeopardy. You don't have to speak so quietly, they can't surpass me. Feng Yang smiled confidently. Okay then, I feel relieved with your words, I will train them well. Vados nodded lightly, I will be more strict in the next training. Yeah, come on. Feng Yang patted Vados on the shoulder. Vados. Far away. Ziyao and Caulifla still didn't deal with it very much. Although Ziyao and Feng Yang have resolved their conflicts, Caulifla still feels a bit uncomfortable to some extent. Because Ziyao felt that Caulifla was a bit nervous. There is another main reason. That is as long as she feels that Caulifla's strength has surpassed her own. Ziyao was a little bit aggrieved in her heart. Although I can't surpass His Royal Highness, I want to become the most powerful woman on planet Shidara. Cal, how are you? It's been 3 months, why hasn't your Super Saiyan been finished yet? Caulifla asked. No. My sister, maybe I can't become a Super Saiyan. Kale said with his head down, a little disappointed. Don't be discouraged, Kale. Since you are also a Saiyan, you can also become a Super Saiyan. Caulifla comforted, look at Chunhua and Chushi can already become Super Saiyan God. Kyle, sister, is there anyone who comforts you so much? The reason why Kale hasn't transformed successfully in this period of time may be that the level of anger is not enough. Feng Yang pondered. Really? Vados was slightly taken aback, but ignored Kale. Now count the people. Feng Yang, Ziyao, Caulifla, Chunhua, Chushi, there are already 5 people. Even if Feng Yang does not participate in the competition, the 4 of them can completely beat the people from the 7th universe. At that time, Hit can be allowed to play to fill the vacancy in numbers. And besides Hit, isn't there Frost and Bodama? So Vados is not particularly concerned about Kale's affairs. It is completely enough to have Xiao and Caulifla, the two main players. At the critical moment, there is still Prince Feng Yang. I have to find a way to arouse the anger in Kale's heart, and unleash all the energy in her body. Feng Yang pondered. But how are you going to do it? Vados asked. Cal cares most about her sister, Caulifla. It seems unrealistic for her to simply imagine that Caulifla gets beaten, Feng Yang said. Then, if you beat Miss Caulifla in the past, won't she be able to arouse the anger in her heart? Vados asked with a smile. This is not appropriate, she is my future concubine, how can I be willing to do it? Feng Yang shook his head. What can you do? Vados asked. You do this, then do this, and do this again. Feng Yang suggested. That, actually, I don't think it's necessary. In the match against the 7th universe, Princess Xiao and Miss Caulifla are enough. Even if you don't participate in the match, I want to rely on the strength of the two of them. Definitely not a big problem. Vados smiled. Then let's put it aside for a while. Feng Yang thinks about it carefully. Originally, Feng Yang wanted to take this opportunity to arouse all the energy in Kale's body. But some things are too fast. Let's talk about it later. Before I knew it, another 10 months had passed. Now, Feng Yang and several girls have been staying here for a year and a month. Both Xiao and Caulifla's strength have improved to a great extent. Chunhua and Chushi are also soaring in strength. Although they have not turned into Super Saiyan Blue, they have also cultivated the strength of Super Saiyan God to the peak. In the words of Chunhua and Chushi, we are the maids of His Royal Highness, and we are not as powerful as we want to cultivate. Super Saiyan God is enough for us. Therefore, Chunhua and Chushi basically didn't practice much in the following period of time. Feng Yang didn't persuade him either. If they don't want to practice, that's their freedom. There is no need for each to be that powerful. No matter how bad it is, isn't there me? Kale has actually made a lot of progress, but he still can't transform. The main reason is that Kale is not angry enough. In this regard, Feng Yang did not force anything. Okay, the 1 year and 1 month training has come to an end. Feng Yang smiled, we have been training here for such a long time. How many days are left before the competition? Less than 3.5 days, Vados replied. In the next time, you all go out to relax and get familiar with the outside environment. Feng Yang suggested. Several girls nodded together. Then, let's go, Feng Yang greeted. With that said, Feng Yang led Vados and others out of the different dimension space. After Feng Yang came out, he went around the planet for a few times and learned about the customs of the planet before returning. Vados and others have seen it all. It seems that if there is no accident, this planet will become the second base of His Royal Highness. Okay, we can go back to Shidara. Feng Yang greeted Vados. Okay, Vados nodded and threw the flying cube to the ground. Feng Yang and others stepped into the cube. Call out. Vados controlled the flying cube and flew into the starry sky, and flew towards the direction of Shidara planet. Planet Shidara. Many citizens organized spontaneously to repair the palace for His Royal Highness. Quick, everyone, speed up, and the palace must be repaired before His Royal Highness returns. Understood, we can't let His Royal Highness have no place to live after he comes back. Although the palace is very large, we must repair His Royal Highness's palace as soon as possible. All the people present were happily busy repairing the palace for His Highness the Prince. After Feng Yang came back, his face was green. What's the situation? Why are my citizens repairing my palace? Where's that Champa guy? Meet your Royal Highness. The citizens hurriedly knelt down and saluted. Where did that guy Champa go? Why are you here to repair the palace for me? Feng Yang asked with a black face. The citizens were also a little panicked and didn't know how to answer for a while. Say, Feng Yang shouted, that Lord Gods of Destruction smashed the palace to pieces immediately after His Royal Highness left, and then flew away. Someone stepped forward to tell the truth. Oh, he's quite courageous. Feng Yang was amused at the time, who gave him the confidence? Said, Feng Yang turned to look at Vados. Oops, I didn't order this. Vados immediately picked himself clean. Quickly see where he is. Feng Yang said with a dark face. You didn't give me a proper repair of the palace. As soon as I left, he shattered the palace with his back and left Shidara. Where's His Majesty the King and Queen? Feng Yang's heart tightened, and he hurriedly asked the citizens. Your Majesty the King and the Queen are well. Lord Gods of Destruction did not make things difficult for them. A citizen replied. Hearing the words of the citizens, Feng Yang's hanging heart was also relieved. If that guy Champa dares to threaten or hurt my parents because of this, I will definitely make your life worse than death. But since you just smashed my palace and didn't hurt innocent people, it can only be regarded as a provocation to me. I can reluctantly spare your life. Just ask if you can resist the beating. Vados, have you found where Champa is? Feng Yang asked Vados. Lord Champa, currently in the 10th universe. Vados sighed. Lord Champa, why are you doing this? It is not enough to repair the palace here. Anyway, the amount of work is not big. His Royal Highness is not on planet Shidara, so he can definitely support a few people to help you complete this glorious mission. In the end, you insisted on smashing the palace of Prince Feng Yang into pieces with a single slap, and then swaggered away, and ran to the 10th universe. What are you doing in 10th universe? I see, do you want Master Rumsshi to come and help you deal with Prince Feng Yang? There is this possibility. Vados quickly understood Champa's intentions. Vados thought the same way before in another dimension. Unexpectedly, Lord Champa actually implemented it. 10th universe. Feng Yang was taken aback, then smiled and said, is he going to rescue soldiers? Maybe. Vados nodded lightly. Currently, Lord Champa is indeed with Lord Rumsshi. Lord Rumsshi is the gods of destruction of the 10th universe. Did he think adding another gods of destruction would beat me? Feng Yang laughed. Vados said nothing. How long until Vados, Champa and Rumsshi come back? Feng Yang asked. At their flying speed, it will take about 10 hours. Vados replied. After all, the 10th universe is far away from our 6th universe. 10 hours is enough time. Feng Yang nodded. Time, what are you going to do? Vados was taken aback. Let me ask you, do you know where Namek is? Feng Yang asked. Namek, are you going to that planet? Vados was slightly taken aback. Tell me, Feng Yang said. Okay, I'll look for it. Vados nodded, the scepter crystal ball flickering in his hand, and began to look for Namek's location. It was easy for Vados to find the exact bearing of Namek. Oh, Namek is currently in a better hidden galaxy. Vados replied, it will take about 3 minutes to fly over from here, but it's pretty close. Does Dragon Ball exist on Namek? Feng Yang asked again. Yes, Vados nodded, but the Dragon Ball on Namek is made by looting the fragments of the Super Dragon Ball, and the wishes that can be fulfilled are limited. It's okay, take me to Namek immediately. Feng Yang said to Vados. What wish do you want to fulfill? Vados was taken aback. You'll know when the time comes. Feng Yang didn't mean to explain. Okay, Vados nodded. Xiao, Caulifla, Kair, Chunhua, Chushi, stay here, I'll be back soon. Feng Yang said to the 5 girls. Xiao, Caulifla and the others nodded solemnly. Although we don't know what His Royal Highness is going to do, we all support you. And this gods of destruction is too unreasonable. It was agreed to build a palace here. As a result, as soon as His Royal Highness left, he broke the contract. Let's go, Feng Yang said, stepping forward and hugging Vados. Vados. Vados hesitated for a moment, but in the end there was no objection, and the scepter in his hand tapped lightly on the ground. Snapped. Vados' body bloomed with a flame as bright as a star. In just an instant, Vados took Feng Yang away from the Shidara planet and flew towards Namek. Feng Yang doesn't like Vados, does he? Caulifla looked up at the vanished Vados and Feng Yang, muttering thoughtfully. Are you kidding me? Xiao was stunned, and immediately denied, this is impossible. Although Vados is very strong, it should not be the type that His Highness likes. Why not? Caulifla asked. Although His Highness is a bit fiddly, but Vados' complexion is too weird, I don't think His Highness may be able to appreciate it. Xiao replied. You were wrong. Caulifla shook her head. I heard His Highness said that he once read a book and thought it was quite interesting. It said that a man named Shushian married a snake. Xiao. Marry. And a snake. Xiao wiped her sweat. Your Highness can read this kind of book with gusto, which means that skin color is not important anymore. Chunhua analyzed from the side. Yeah, I think so too. Chushi nodded. Everyone can be with snakes. After the girls finished speaking, they all shivered together. What a monstrous person can do this? Ziyao was even more speechless. What you say seems to make sense. Has His Royal Highness reached out to other species? By the way, I remembered. After His Highness the Prince left the space of another dimension, he even took a turn around the beauty star. This has a unique meaning after turning around. Is Your Highness planning to accept a beauty from the beauty star as a concubine? If that's the case, I have to hurry up and strive to be a concubine. Otherwise, I really have nothing to do. HMPH, Caulifla, I will not lose to you. Ziyao snorted. Ziyao's words meant that she wanted to compete with her for Feng Yang's favor. Caulifla looked at Ziyao inexplicably. Why are you saying this all of a sudden? At this time, the king and queen also flew out of the palace. Meet Your Majesty the King, Your Majesty the Queen. Several girls saluted together. The king immediately looked at the stomachs of these girls, and then showed disappointment on his face. Your Majesty, where are you looking? The queen said with a dark face. I'm here to see if they are pregnant. The king lowered his voice and said, after all, Feng Yang has lived with them for more than a year, although we have only been here for 1 day. Queen, suppose there are so many girls together, at least one of them will be pregnant. The king shook his head. Why isn't there any? Don't talk so much, you are the king of a country, and they are all juniors, you should look like a king of a country. The queen sighed. Get up, said the king. Thank you, Your Majesty, thank you, madam. Ziyao and the others saluted again and got up. Where is Your Highness the Prince? The queen found that the prince was not there. His Royal Highness heard that gods of destruction broke the contract and was very angry, so he went to Namek. Ziyao replied. Namek, what are you going to do in Namek? The queen was taken aback. Also, how did the prince find Namek? Go back to the queen. The woman named Vados used the scepter in her hand to search for it, and she found the planet easily. It seems that it only takes 3 minutes to fly there. Chunhua replied. Is it so close to us? The queen froze for a moment. It's not that it's close to us, it should be that the person named Vados flies faster. Caulifla retorted. We have gained a lot of knowledge, Empress Queen. Chu Shi also said, Vados' power is beyond our imagination. Let's go back to the palace first. The queen greeted. Yes, Madam Queen. Several people saluted together again. The king and queen brought Ziyao and Caulifla back to the palace. Afterwards, the king and queen also learned about their cultivation status with concern. After hearing the transformation of several girls, the king was stunned. What? Super Saiyan God? Does this kind of transformation really exist? The king's eyes widened, showing shock on his face. I've heard it before, too. Our Saiyan has the legend of Super Saiyan God, no think it's true. So, is the Princess Fuchsia transformation the Super Saiyan God? The queen asked curiously. No, my queen, Super Saiyan God looks like this. Chunhua said, and a fiery red light burst out from his body immediately. Chunhua's whole body was burning with flames, and her hair also turned fiery red. The breath is completely gone. The body is slimmer than before. Is this Super Saiyan God? The queen was very surprised. Compared to Super Saiyan, how much stronger than Super Saiyan? Asked the king. There is no comparison between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God. Even if it is Super Saiyan 2, it is not the opponent of Super Saiyan God at all. Ziyao explained. What? And Super Saiyan 2? The king was stunned. Your Majesty, that's what it looks like. As Chu Shi said, golden rays of light bloomed on his body, and lightning bolts appeared all over his body. King, Your Majesty, Empress, there is still this kind of transformation. After Ziyao finished speaking, she immediately changed into Super Saiyan blue color. Actually, I think this kind of transformation is more fun. Caulifla grinned, and a more intense golden light suddenly bloomed on her body. A streak of lightning flashed crazily on Caulifla's body. When I looked again, Caulifla's golden hair grew rapidly backwards. Soon, Caulifla's hair was waist length. Ziyao, Chunhua and Chushi, the 3 girls standing beside them were all stunned. Even Kair also showed a look of astonishment. This was also the first time these girls saw Caulifla's transformation. What kind of weird transformation is this? The king was also taken aback, his eyes widened. The queen could say nothing. The magnitude of this transformation is too large, giving people a strong shock. Hey, this is called Super Saiyan number 3. Caulifla grinned, and walked to the mirror to take a picture. Isn't it cool? The shape of this transformation is different from that of His Royal Highness, except for the color. Are they very similar? Everyone present was speechless. The third of Super Saiyan. Who is stronger between this and Super Saiyan God? The king was stunned and asked. Ziyao immediately pricked up her ears. It should be that Super Saiyan God is stronger. Caulifla analyzed. Ziyao was taken aback. Super Saiyan God more powerful. Then why did you spend so much energy researching this transformation? It doesn't make any sense. Ziyao didn't know what to say about her. Not bad, you have made great progress in a different dimension, and I am also happy for you. The king laughed, feeling a little heartbroken. My Super Saiyan no longer exists. This kid Feng Yang. I know to take care of your wife first. Your father and I are just a normal Super Saiyan now. Snapped. Caulifla returned to normal. Hey, this transformation is obviously weaker than Super Saiyan God, why are you still researching it? Ziyao couldn't help asking. I haven't studied it for a long time. Caulifla smiled. I just played around with it when I was free, and I found out that there is still such a transformation. Ziyao, can you research a new transformation just by playing with it? All right, fortunately, this transformation is just a normal Super Saiyan energy boost. Whatever she wants. But then again, Feng Yang has taught us so many transformations. I think it will be more interesting when we serve him in the future. Caulifla thought. Shameless. Ziyao's face turned red, and she gave Caulifla a hard look. What are you talking about? Don't you want to be a princess? Caulifla smiled. Does it matter? Ziyao replied. If you want to be a princess, aren't you ready to serve Feng Yang? Caulifla smiled slightly. Don't speak so bluntly. Ziyao's face became even more rosy. Now tell me, you have been in the different dimension for more than a year, have you not done anything other than cultivation? The queen asked with a smile. Now the queen wants to think about it too. Since the child is so powerful. As many concubines as he wants, just give him a few concubines. At least he is capable of protecting his wife and children. In the past, the queen did not allow the prince to establish a harem, mainly because she felt that although Shidara planet was a peaceful planet, it would be coveted by foreign enemies at any time. And the evil Saiyan will come and take over this planet at some point. If there are too many women in the harem, the prince will definitely be hindered. But it's different now. Now the prince has what it takes to defeat gods of destruction. The evil Saiyan army was wiped out in one day. So there is nothing to be afraid of. The queen also wants to have more grandchildren. The king pricked up his ears and wanted to listen carefully. Your Majesty, please avoid it for a while, the queen said. You talk. The king got up and left the scene a little disappointed. As for gods of destruction looking for reinforcements, the king had nothing to worry about. The sun is so powerful, so what if gods of destruction finds reinforcements? Sun should be able to easily beat them. After the king left, the queen took Ziyao's hand and asked lovingly, tell me, how far have you progressed with the prince? Several girls lowered their heads together. What's your expression? The queen was taken aback. Your Highness said that he will not touch us until we are officially married. Ziyao said. Queen, is this my son? Are you talking about the rules at this time? The sixth universe, universe space. Champa is already taking Rumshi to the direction of the beauty star. That kid is currently cultivating in a different dimension. It would be a good choice for us to teach him a lesson there. Champa chuckled. HMPH, I'll make that kid look good. Rumshi nodded. A hidden gods of destruction, be sure to let him know the rules of the gods of destruction world. Rumshi, I like to hear you say things like that. Champa patted Rumshi's shoulder excitedly. Beep, beep. At this moment, the communicator on Rumshi's body suddenly rang. Rumshi was taken aback, immediately took out the communicator and pressed the call button. What's up, Kes? Rumshi asked. Champa glanced at Rumshi. Hey, Master Rumshi, have you reached the sixth universe yet? Kessie asked. Yeah, Champa and I just entered the sixth universe not long ago. Rumshi replied, is there anything you can do with me? There is indeed a very important matter, I hope Master Rumshi will come back quickly. Kessie replied. What's the rush? Rumshi was taken aback. Master Grand Priest contacted me just now, saying that Master Zeno is coming to play in our universe. I thought it would be inappropriate for Master Rumshi not to be here. Kessie replied. What? Master Zeno is going to play in our universe? Rumshi was startled and scared at the time. What did you say? Champa's face changed again and again. It will probably be here soon. If Master Rumshi doesn't want to come back, I can report to Master Grand Priest. Kessie replied. Don't report yet, I'll go back right away. Rumshi was taken aback. Master Zeno descended upon our universe himself. Is it inappropriate for me not to go back and accompany you? But it will take me at least 10 hours to fly back from here. Rumshi was about to cry. That's easy to say, I'll ask Master Supreme Kai to pick you up. Kessie said. That's good. Rumshi breathed a sigh of relief. So, that's it, Kes smiled. Hurry up and let that guy Supreme Kai come over. I think Master Zeno came to our universe to inspect the work. I have to quickly investigate the entire universe with Supreme Kai, and there must be no omissions in the work. Rumshi suddenly thought of something, wiping sweat silently. All right, Kessie didn't object. The call ends here. Rumshi immediately stopped in the starry sky. Champa also stopped beside Rumshi and looked at Rumshi with some sympathy. Rumshi, you are so unlucky. Champa sighed. I didn't expect Master Zeno to go to your universe. You should ask for more blessings. With that said, Champa patted Rumshi on the shoulder. Rumshi wanted to cry. This is like the fact that the magistrate suddenly received the news that the emperor was coming to inspect. This feeling is very tangled. If you manage the universe well, it would be fine if you were praised by Master Zeno. If you don't manage the universe well, Master Zeno gets upset and erases your universe, you don't have any temper at all. Champa, you can solve the matter of hiding gods of destruction yourself, I have to go back. Rumshi sighed. It's all right, you can go now. Champa didn't object, and didn't dare to object. That's Master Zeno. It's just that what Champa can't figure out is, why did Master Zeno go to the 10th universe to play? Are you really going to play? Maybe it's to inspect the work. Champa thinks Rumshi is a tragedy. Shua. Suddenly, the space fluctuated. Supreme Kai Kavas of the 10th universe cast instant transmission and appeared next to Rumshi in just a split second. Master Rumshi, let's go back quickly. Kavas held out his hand to Rumshi. Rumshi nodded solemnly, and stepped forward to hold Gevaz's hand. Master Champa, we are taking our leave. Gevaz said to Champa. Go, take care. Champa waved his hand. Shua. The next moment, Kavas disappeared with Rumshi. Champa shook his head and sighed again. Rumshi is so sad. Maybe the 10th universe will disappear after a while. The poor guy. After a short silence, Champa. This is so. Something is wrong. Didn't I go to move the rescuers? In the end, the rescuers went back like this. What happened to this? Fortunately, there is still time. That kid will practice in a different dimension for 3 years. In other words, I still have 3 days to find help outside. Well, there's only 1.5 days left now. Which universe should I go to ask gods of destruction for help next? Champa thought about it carefully, and then flew in the direction of the 8th universe. Champa decided to go to the gods of destruction Likir in the 8th universe. Likir is a 9-tailed fox, stronger than Rumshi. I believe that if Likir came to help, the two of us would definitely beat Feng Yang's kid to the ground. 6th universe. Namek. The Namek of the 6th universe is not much different from the Namek of the 7th universe. There are also 3 suns on this planet. Similarly, this planet is also due to a natural disaster, which caused the population on the planet to drop sharply. At present, the population on the entire Namek has been left with a small number of about 100 people. At this moment, Vados landed on the land of Namek with Feng Yang, and appeared in the village where the Great Elder was. The Great Elder here lives in a village. Who are you? What is the purpose of coming to Namek? The Elder asked with a serious expression. The villagers behind the Great Elder also became vigilant one by one. Because they all discovered that these 2 people are definitely not simple. Flying directly to Namek without a universe ship is scary. Is Namek going to suffer another disaster? We all hid the planet, can you still find it? Feng Yang immediately looked at the First Elder. The Great Elder of the 6th universe Namek looks younger. To Feng Yang, this product is a bit like Gaskako in Dragon Ball Chaos. And the energy on this person also looks amazing. I am Feng Yang, the Prince of Saiyan on planet Shidara. Feng Yang introduced himself. This is my maid Vados. Vados, do you have an introducer like you? Are you polite? So it's Prince Feng Yang. The Great Elder breathed a sigh of relief. I've heard about your deeds. I heard that you left home at the age of 5, experienced 3 years on the planet Shidara, and then returned to the palace, studying in the palace. You are very well informed, Feng Yang said with a smile. Great Elder, it's all a matter of the year of the monkey in the past, and it's still well informed. It's nothing. That, we Namek people have some special abilities, and we can basically perceive some major events that happen in the universe. The Great Elder smiled. Then you don't know who I am, Feng Yang said. Great Elder, will you chat? Are you going to chat to death? Ahem, I don't know why Prince Feng Yang came to Namek, the Great Elder asked with a dry laugh, wiping his sweat. It's not a big deal, I just want you to do me a small favor, Feng Yang said. Prince, please tell me, the Great Elder said. I'm here to find Dragon Ball, and I want to grant a wish. Feng Yang smiled. Great Elder, you are really welcome. Is this called doing a small favor? The Great Elder silently looked at Feng Yang, and then at Vados beside Feng Yang. There was a long silence. Take out all the Dragon Balls and give them to His Royal Highness, the Elder ordered. Yes, all the Namek people present nodded obediently. Soon, several villagers took 7 Dragon Balls out of the room and put them on the ground beside Feng Yang. So you have already collected the Dragon Ball? Feng Yang was a little surprised. Yes, Dragon Balls are usually scattered all over the planet after fulfilling their wishes. Someone will bring them back after finding them, and they will be assembled after a long time. The Great Elder smiled. We Namek people generally seldom fulfill our wishes. In the very early past, it was because of making too many wishes that the climate of the entire planet changed dramatically. Many Namek people also died because of the climate change. Yes, I understand, Feng Yang nodded. Great Elder. Mr. Great Elder means that if you make a wish for your own self-interest, it will cause some unnecessary troubles, right? Vados smiled. Yes, this lady is right, that's what I want to express. The Great Elder nodded excitedly. This maid is very understanding. You finally see what I mean. It doesn't matter, I didn't make the wish for my own self-interest, I did it to protect our Shidara planet. Feng Yang said seriously, even our entire universe. Great Elder, what you said has risen to the universe level. I was speechless. Okay, then I'll summon Shenron now, and you come and make a wish. The Elder didn't say much, and said to the 7 Dragon Balls in Namek, come out, Shenron, and make our wishes come true. Crack clap clap, a golden light flashed on the 7 Dragon Balls. The golden rays of light gathered together and quickly soared into the sky. The sky instantly changed from day to night. The next moment, a toad-like dragon hovered in the night sky, flashing a blue light. Those who gathered the Dragon Ball, please state your wishes, and I will try my best to fulfill 3 wishes for you. Shenron Palanga's voice sounded. It is worth mentioning that 6th Shenron of Universe Namek is also called Palanga. It looks similar to Palanga from the 7th universe. It seems that the color is somewhat different. Anyway, it's not important to Feng Yang anymore. Feng Yang is here to fulfill wishes, not to find differences. The first wish is for me and my family to have the ability to survive in the universe. Feng Yang made a wish. Great Elder. The Great Elder wiped his sweat silently. Didn't you say you only have 1 wish? How do I see what you mean? You want to have all 3 wishes. Can this wish come true? Feng Yang raised his head and asked Shenron Balanga. Okay, no problem, but you need to use Namek language to make a wish. Shenron Palanga replied. Vados, please translate, I know you can do it. Feng Yang turned to Vados and said. Vados, you really treat me like a maid. Vados was also slightly taken aback afterward, and finally understood the meaning of Feng Yang's coming here. It turns out that Feng Yang cannot survive in the universe space. Mr. Champa is looking far away. You only need to drag Feng Yang into the universe space, and Feng Yang will take the initiative to admit defeat. It might just hang up. Why did you go to other universes to find rescuers? Vados didn't have anything to object to immediately, and directly spoke the Namek language, and translated Feng Yang's words just now. You and your family, meaning you and your father and mother, the three of you in total. Palanga confirmed. No, there are also my wives. Feng Yang said. Cold sweat rolled down Palanga's face. Can you name them? Asked Palanga. Well, there are Xiao, Caulifla, Chunhua, Chushi, and Kair. Feng Yang replied. Let's just keep 5 of them for now. You won't let it go, Kale. Vados turned around and asked. It can't be helped, the skin is a little dark, just make do with it. Feng Yang sighed. Vados, what is improvise? Is this kind of thing okay? My father said that when the lights are turned off, they all look the same. Feng Yang sold the king at that time. Vados was speechless for a while. Your father is not a good thing either. What kind of father there is really what kind of son? It's like you have blue skin, I don't dislike it at all. Feng Yang added. Vados was speechless at the time. Co-author, you have always disliked my skin color. No wonder you haven't attacked me for so long. Was my skin color saving me? Again, I forgot to use the color-changing lamp I brought to the different dimension. Feng Yang shook his head and said with some regret. Vados wiped his sweat again. You brought that lamp, is it for me? Ahem, have you finished chatting? I'm still waiting to fulfill your wishes. Balanga's sweat dripped down his face. What time is it, are you still chatting there? Such a serious matter, you guys had a good chat. Chapter 51. Just a few of them for now. Feng Yang pondered. Okay, Shenron Palanga nodded, and was about to grant Feng Yang's wish. By the way, the 4 major guards of the father. Well, that's it, Feng Yang said. Palanga, are you finished? Is there any more? Palanga asked again. It should be gone. Feng Yang shook his head. Then, Shenron Palanga nodded, and an invisible divine power flashed in his eyes instantly. The divine power shrouded Feng Yang's body and made some minor changes to Feng Yang's system. At the same time, some other divine powers also quickly flew towards the direction of the Shidara planet. Feng Yang also clearly felt the subtle changes in his body. These changes allow Feng Yang to survive in the universe space. As for how to survive, asked Shenron. The great elder and many villagers froze. This maid can speak Namek. Your first wish has been fulfilled, tell me your second wish. Balanga's voice came down again. The second wish, I also want to consider giving one of my people the ability to survive in the universe space. But I didn't think about it for a while. Feng Yang pondered. Then you have to think about it before you talk about your wish. Balanga said with a dark face. Why is it so troublesome for this kid to make a wish? If it wasn't for feeling the destructive energy in your body, do you think I would talk to you? My wish is to give others the ability to survive in the universe. Feng Yang expressed his wish, can you do it? Sorry, I can't do it, this wish can't be fulfilled. Balanga shook his head. If you have this ability, what do you want from me? How dare you think? You can't even do this. Feng Yang was a little disappointed. Palanga, what is your expression? I've given you the ability to survive in the universe. You despise me a little now. The great elder and villagers of Namek also wiped their sweat silently. This kid doesn't play by the rules. As soon as his wish was fulfilled, he began to dislike Balanga. It's just shameless. Can your ancestors do it? Feng Yang asked again. My ancestor, who are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. Balanga showed a confused face. It's the dragon of God. Feng Yang said. What? The dragon of the gods, my lord. Balanga's dragon face changed color. He should be fine, right? Feng Yang asked. If it is God Dragon Lord, these are not problems. Shenron Palanga replied immediately. Okay, then I'm going to say the second wish, are you ready? Feng Yang asked. Palanga, are you playing with dragons? Second wish, I want to learn Supreme Kai's instant transmission, can it be done? Feng Yang asked. Sorry, this wish can't be fulfilled. Palanga shook her head. There's no way to achieve it. Feng Yang revealed a look of disgust. However, I can give you a copy of the instant transmission secrets of the subdelegates for the next best thing. Palanga wiped his sweat with his paws. That's fine, I don't expect you to realize Supreme Kai's instant transmission ability for me. Feng Yang shook his head. I have to learn the instant transmission of a sub-Della special star. I thought you let me have it directly have this ability. This. You can only learn it by yourself, Belonga said. Then bring it, Feng Yang said. Palanga, by the way, you need to make a wish in Namek, right? Feng Yang asked again. Yes, Palanga nodded. Feng Yang immediately turned to look at Vados. Vados sighed helplessly, and said the wish just now in Namek. A divine power flickered in Shenren's eyes. Snapped. A book fell from the sky and landed in Feng Yang's hands. Feng Yang took the book, opened it, looked at it, and put it away in his arms. Tell me your third wish. Shenren was nervous for a while. This kid just knows how to say some wishes that I can't realize. How shameless. The third wish is much simpler. Feng Yang grinned, teleport the gods of destruction Champa to me. What, Lord Gods of Destruction Champa? Shenren was startled, and the dragon's face changed color. Is your wish simple? This wish is more complicated than those two wishes, okay. The great elder of Namek was also pale with fright. Are you going to teleport the gods of destruction? Our planet won't be destroyed on the spot by gods of destruction, will it? Why is Saiyan's prince so pitiful? When I first met you, I thought you were quite friendly. I didn't expect you to be a complete scammer. The great elder of Namek and many villagers trembled with fear, and shook their heads vigorously at Palanga in the sky with a look of despair. You must not fulfill this wish. We will be destroyed. We're broken and you don't exist anymore. Palanga. It's as if I can make this wish come true. Besides, if I can really achieve it, it's useless for you to shake your head. This is my principle of doing Shenren. Vados clutched his forehead and was speechless for a while. But if this wish can come true, Mr. Champa will probably cry. Champa-sama and Rumshi-sama are flying. As a result, Lord Champa disappeared alone, and appeared beside Feng Yang. I don't know what kind of expression Master Champa will have. Vados even looked forward a little. It's just that Vados knew clearly that Shenren couldn't realize this wish. At least this dragon can't be realized. Sorry, Lord Gods of Destruction Champa's ability is too powerful, unless he agrees with me to teleport him. Shenren Palanga replied. Then you communicate with him, say that I have something to do with him, and let him be sent over honestly by you. If he dares to refuse, I will go over and break his leg. Feng Yang said. Shenren Palanga's face turned pale instantly. Who are you? You want to break Lord Gods of Destruction's leg? I really admire your courage. Palanga sniffed, wanting to cry. The great elder of Namek trembled violently, almost fainting to the ground. This kid doesn't do anything. This is the end. We Namek are completely exposed. Once Shenren communicates with Lord Gods of Destruction, will Lord Gods of Destruction still not know about the existence of our Namek? This is the rhythm of being destroyed. Who are we provoking? Is this your wish? Palanga confirmed. No, my wish is to teleport Champa to me. If you can't fulfill your wish, I'll think about another wish. Feng Yang corrected. Palanga, I thought I could get away with it. Okay, I'll get in touch with Mr. Champa. If he doesn't agree, I can't teleport him. Palanga replied. I'm sorry to trouble you. Feng Yang responded politely. Palanga wiped his cold sweat again with his paw. You don't have to be so polite. The more you are like this, the more you are holding back the evil. The great elder of Namek and the villagers prayed silently together. Lord Gods of Destruction, please don't come to Namek. If you come, our Namek is about to be wiped out. If I had known earlier, I would not have given Prince Saiyan the Dragon Ball. The sixth universe, universe space. Champa is flying fast in the direction of the eighth universe. Flying and flying, a voice suddenly rang in Champa's mind. Champa was slightly taken aback. Who is talking to me? Who? Champa shouted, dare to invade my consciousness. Are you impatient? Hello Lord Gods of Destruction. I am Shenren Balanga of Namek. Shenren Balanga replied cautiously. Namek, Shenren. Champa was taken aback again. I remembered, you are the Shenren summoned by the Dragon Ball formed from the fragments of the Wishing Star, right? Yes, Lord Gods of Destruction. Palanga replied. Tell me, what do you want from me? Champa asked with a cold face. Hurry up, I'm busy, if there's nothing to bother me, I'll go to Namek and destroy you. Palanga was terrified. Sure enough, Lord Gods of Destruction is not easy to mess with. What crime did I do? It is not necessary for people to realize such wishes. The thing is like this, Prince Fengyang of Saiyan said that Lord Gods of Destruction should be teleported to his side. Palenga told the truth. What did you say? Champa froze, startled at the time. If Lord Gods of Destruction refuses to teleport, the prince said he would come over and break your leg. Balunga said the last sentence carefully. Terrible. However, after Balunga finished speaking, he suddenly realized that Lord Gods of Destruction was more afraid than himself. Lord Gods of Destruction. Was trembling there too. Palenga was a little stunned. Can't you beat that Saiyan prince? Why are you so scared? Champa was indeed quite frightened. I haven't found help yet. I can't beat him now. Strangeness. Why did this kid come out early? Didn't he want to practice in it for 3 years? Running out so quickly. No, Champa refused decisively. So far so good. This dragon should not be able to teleport me. As long as I don't agree with your ability, how can you teleport me to Fengyang's side? Whoa, I'm so smart. Champa was overjoyed. Okay, Lord Gods of Destruction, I understand. Palanga replied. By the way, tell that kid, don't let him get flustered there, I'll have to fix him sooner or later. Champa snorted. Yes, Lord Gods of Destruction, Palanga replied. You were so scared just now. Are you still talking about fixing him? You seem to be unable to beat others. Of course, Balanga was just thinking about it in his heart, and he didn't dare to say it if he was given 10 guts. If you have the ability, let him come over, let him come and beat me. Champa grinned brightly. Well, if that's the case, then let's say goodbye. Lord Gods of Destruction. Balanga shook his head helplessly. This Lord Gods of Destruction is really cheap. It's so cheap to beat others. Ben Long was also speechless. Namek. Sorry, Lord Gods of Destruction is not coming. Balanga told the truth. I knew he wouldn't come, even if I gave him 10 guts, he wouldn't dare to come. Fengyang nodded. Palanga, then you still want me to fulfill this wish? The great elder of Namek and the villagers were all stunned, thinking they had heard it wrong. Is this Saiyan prince so powerful? Even Lord Gods of Destruction is afraid of him. But thankfully, fortunately, Lord Gods of Destruction did not come. Otherwise, our planet cannot be kept. Vados sighed slightly. Sure enough, Master Champa dare not come over. I was really scared of being beaten. By the way, what did Champa say? Fengyang asked. You don't need to paraphrase, just tell me what he said, I'm afraid I might misunderstand it. By the way, tell that kid, don't let him get flustered there, I'll have to fix him sooner or later. Balanga had no choice but to say what Champa said. Is there any more? The corners of Fengyang's mouth raised slightly, drawing a shallow arc. Let him come here if you have the ability, let him come and beat me. Balanga added, and said, no more, there is nothing else to say. In this case, if he lets me go, then I will go. Fengyang pondered. Palanga, this is bad. Lord Gods of Destruction must know that I sent this prince there. If his leg were broken, the consequences would be unimaginable. The third wish, teleport me to Gods of Destruction Champa. Fengyang made a wish, I'm going to break his leg. Vados sighed helplessly. So far, Vados can't say much. Mainly Master Champa is too capable. Can't you fix the ruined palace? Major issues to minor ones out. As a result, as soon as we left, you smashed the half-repaired palace into pieces. Then there is. Answer well when Shenron asks you. You have to say harsh words there. I'm also drunk. At that time, Vados made a wish to Shenron Palanga in Namek language. Then, please don't resist the special ability I released on you, Your Royal Highness, Balanga said. Yeah, thank you for your hard work, Shenron, you are a good dragon, next time I will ask you to fulfill my wish. Fengyang nodded. Palanga wanted to cry. I don't want to have a next time. Your wish is too tricky. Shenron is just about to transfer Fengyang away. Wait a minute, let me say goodbye first, you have to start and end when doing things. Fengyang said. Shenron, that great elder of Namek and all Namek people, thank you this time, thank you for your Dragon Ball. Fengyang thanked. No, you're welcome, the great elder wanted to cry. In order to grant your wishes, we offended Lord Gods of Destruction. We will be destroyed. Good luck, Fengyang said. Good luck to you too, the great elder nodded. Vados, you go back to Shidara and wait for me. Feng Yang ordered. Okay. Vados tapped his forehead. However, after Vados finished speaking, he suddenly realized that something was wrong. Why should I serve you? It's like I'm really your servant. Okay, Shenron, you can teleport. Feng Yang instructed Balunga. Shenron quickly hit Feng Yang with a strange energy. After the energy covered Feng Yang's body gradually became blurred. Your wish has come true. Goodbye. Shenron Palanga left immediately after finishing speaking. Palanga turned into 7 beams of light, which quickly scattered around Namek's world. Better never see you again. Your wish troubles me. ... Universe space. Champa hummed a ditty and headed towards the 8th universe at high speed. When I get to the 8th universe and find Likier, I'll bring him back and fix you with him. Feng Yang, just wait for me. So you still want Shenron to teleport me? Can that dragon do it? As long as I have a thought, the dragon can't do anything about me. This idiot. Wait a moment, there's always something wrong with it. Am I overlooking something? Champa gradually slowed down and stopped. It seems to have overlooked something. What is it then? Champa thought about it, and suddenly a flash of inspiration flashed in his mind, and he immediately had an epiphany. That dragon can't teleport me. But you can teleport Feng Yang. This is bad, and many more. Am I overlooking another question? I remembered. Saiyan cannot survive in the universe space. Thinking of this, Champa looked around. Champa is certain that this is the universe space. There isn't even a single planet around here. No, not to mention planets, not even meteorites. This is an extremely cold space, which has reached absolute 0 degrees. It is absolutely impossible for Saiyan to survive in this environment. When I was fighting this guy before, why didn't I blow up his planet? Wouldn't I win then? I'm looking for distance. Champa looked in the direction of the 8th universe, and then looked back at his own 6th universe. Should I go back and blow up his planet? Forget it, it's all over here. I want to fix him upright. Aren't you going to break my leg? Then as you wish, I will break your leg. The more Champa thought about it, the more shallow the corners of his mouth curled up, and the more mean his smile became. Just wait, Feng Yang. I'll be back soon to fix yours. Champa was very happy. Suddenly, I saw a distortion in the universe space. Champa took a closer look, and his face changed slightly. What's the situation? This is teleportation. Someone coming through instant transmission. Champa suddenly had a bad feeling. Could it be this guy Feng Yang? Isn't Saiyan unable to survive in the universe? Shua. Immediately afterwards, Champa was horrified to find that Feng Yang's body gradually became clear from blur. Champa's smile gradually disappeared. It's really Feng Yang. He must have teleported through Shenron. Regardless of whether he can survive in the universe space for now. Let's do it first. Without the slightest hesitation, Champa punched Feng Yang in the face. Boom. The moment Feng Yang teleported over, purple-red light erupted from his body, and streaks of purple lightning wrapped around his body. Selfishness too. Snapped. Feng Yang raised his hand lightly, and just like that, he caught Champa's attacking fist with his hand. What? How could this be? Champa was stunned. My punch in the past was caught by him so easily. Champa, you were really brave, huh? Feng Yang said with a smile. How? How is this possible? Champa felt as if he couldn't move his fist, and was trapped in a very solid place. This is not right. Have your strength improved again? Champa suddenly realized something, and his face changed again and again. After all, this kid has been in a different dimension for a year. Is he practicing again? Am I actually unable to break the defense with his hands? Yeah, being idle is also idle, so I practiced briefly inside. Feng Yang said with a smile. That's impossible, Champa shouted. Even if you practice, you can't improve so much in a year. The fact is that it has improved a lot. Feng Yang grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Not good. Champa's pupils constricted sharply, and his expression became extremely exciting. Boom. Feng Yang flew up and kicked Champa directly. Champa left a phantom in the sky like a shooting star. Shua. Feng Yang caught up quickly, and punched Champa hard again, hitting Champa's chest. Puff. Champa spurted blood from his mouth, and his body flew upside down again. Feng Yang chased after him unhurriedly, with an endless smile on his face. Yes, Feng Yang's strength has improved again. It has improved a lot from a day ago. After all, after staying in a different dimension for a year, Feng Yang was cultivating his ultimate will when he was free. In addition, when Feng Yang and Champa fought before, the venue was Shidara planet. Although Feng Yang broke out in the form of self-extreme will too. But Feng Yang didn't dare to use all his strength. Because Feng Yang knew very well that if he was not careful, the entire planet would turn into nothingness on the spot. That's destructive energy, and still fighting the gods of destruction. Therefore, at that time, Feng Yang could be said to be suppressing his own destructive energy while competing with Champa. It's different now. Here is the universe space. Feng Yang didn't have anything to worry about anymore. I said, I'm going to break your leg. Feng Yang said with a smile. Wait a minute, yes. I was wrong, Champa immediately confessed. No more, this guy is improving so fast, I'm no match for him at all. I still admit it first, and then find a way to deal with him. Well, the attitude of admitting mistakes is okay. Feng Yang nodded. Champa felt relieved. So this kid won't deal with me for the time being. But I still want to break your leg. Feng Yang said, I will do what I say. You dare. Champa shouted angrily. Feng Yang kicked it. Crack, only a crisp sound was heard, and Champa's legs were shattered on the spot. Champa was in so much pain that she cried for her father and mother. Boom, Feng Yang kicked over again. Call out. Champa flashed a stream of light in the universe space, and soon disappeared without a trace. Champa passed out. As for where it will fly to, Feng Yang doesn't know. It doesn't matter anymore. It's too brittle. Feng Yang shook his head, turned around and left. Now, I'm going back to planet Shidara immediately. How to go? Feng Yang looked back and forth, left and right. I got lost. There is no such thing as east, west, north, and south in the universe space. How do I get back to planet Shidara? But that's okay. Fortunately, Feng Yang asked Vados for a communicator before. Feng Yang took out the communicator and immediately called Vados. Vados, are you there? Feng Yang asked. Vados. Vados was speechless at this. You have already called me and asked if I was there. Yes, Vados replied. Well, I'm lost, can you tell me how to return to planet Shidara? Feng Yang asked. Have you found Lord Champa? Vados was taken aback, subconsciously thinking that Feng Yang hadn't found Champa. I found it, Feng Yang replied. How is it? Are you reconciled? Vados was taken aback again. Found it, then contact me so soon. Why reconcile? Didn't I say I would break his leg? Feng Yang smiled. I've already completed the task. So fast. Vados was taken aback. It was only a minute before and after. Has Master Champa already lost to Prince Feng Yang? Isn't Lord Rumshi and Lord Champa still together? Did Feng Yang beat them both? This is too fast. I'm not so fast in other things. Feng Yang replied immediately. Other things? What do you mean? Vados was slightly taken aback, unable to respond. You will know later. Feng Yang replied. Okay, so how is Master Champa? Vados asked without thinking too much. Already passed out. Feng Yang smiled. Vados. Poor Master Champa. Are you going back to Shidara now? Vados asked. Otherwise, it's boring to stay here. If you come to accompany me, I might consider staying. Feng Yang said with a smile. Ahem. Fly along the oblique rear on your right side, and you will be able to see the planet Shidara in about 4 hours. Vados said. 4 hours, isn't that too long? Feng Yang wiped his sweat. Oh, I calculated this based on twice the speed of Master Champa. If your speed is faster, it may not take so long. Vados smiled slightly. It's too tiring to fly. You are like this, go back and tell Xiao and the others to be ready at all times. When I learn instant transmission, let them burst out their breath. I plan to go back through instant transmission. Feng Yang replied to Vados. Instant transmission, the book Shenron gave you. Vados remembered. Yes, Feng Yang nodded. How long will you have to study? Vados sighed. That, I'm afraid it will take a while. Feng Yang sighed. I flipped through the book briefly, and if I want to learn it, it will take a day anyway. Vados, do you call a period of time a day? Also, can you really learn instant transmission in one day? Vados did not want to continue on this topic. By the way, what about the gods of destruction of the 10th universe? Feng Yang suddenly thought of something and asked, didn't you say that Champa was with the gods of destruction named Rumshi? You ask me. Vados wiped his sweat. Who else can I ask if I don't ask you? You said it, not me. Feng Yang replied. Is he not with Master Champa? Vados asked. No, Champa was the only one when I came here. Feng Yang said. Then I don't know, maybe something left. Vados guessed. Forget it, leave him alone. Feng Yang shook his head. Vados, help me find a planet now, preferably with some food on it, and I want to learn instant transmission on it. I remembered that your location is relatively close to the Earth. Vados replied, although the Earth has experienced a war, all human beings on it have disappeared, and life is also destroyed by radiation called nuclear weapons. All died, but this was a long time ago, and now life has gradually recovered on that planet. Go to that planet called Earth. Isn't there only one day? Even if you don't eat, you won't starve to death. Earth, okay, I see, I'll go to Earth now. Feng Yang nodded. Vados immediately told Feng Yang the location of the Earth. After finishing the call, Feng Yang turned into a purple-red streamer and flew towards the 6th universe Earth. After flying for about half an hour, Feng Yang saw the solar system in the universe space. Feng Yang's heart was surging, and he was a little excited. Watching the solar system here is really shocking. I feel that the Earth here is very similar to the Earth I learned in textbooks in my previous life. The sun is still the sun. The Earth is a blue planet. However, Feng Yang looked over from a distance and found that the Earth was covered with the breath of death. It seems that the nuclear radiation caused by the nuclear war has not completely dissipated. Call out. Feng Yang was speeding towards the direction of the Earth, and soon entered the atmosphere. After entering the atmosphere, Feng Yang felt the slightest discomfort in his body. This discomfort let Feng Yang clearly know that it should be caused by nuclear radiation. How many years have passed, and nuclear radiation still exists? This weapon is really domineering. Of course, nuclear radiation is only a little uncomfortable for Feng Yang, and it will not affect him in the slightest. Snapped. Feng Yang fell from the sky and landed on the Earth of the planet. There are no human beings left on the whole Earth. Human beings have led to genocide because of their own weapons. Is it sad? This is called playing with fire and self-immolation. Feng Yang sighed a little, and let go of the induction. Sure enough, there is no human being on it. Feng Yang came here to practice, not to express emotion. Immediately, Feng Yang took out the instant transmission book and flipped through it page by page. Namek. Great Elder and friends. Vados saluted the Namek. You're welcome, it's just a matter of little effort. The Great Elder smiled bitterly, and finally couldn't help asking, how did the final result go? Did His Royal Highness win? Yes, I won. Master Champa's leg has been broken by him, and he has passed out. Vados sighed. Great, I was taken aback. The Great Elder cheered and let out a long sigh of relief. The other villagers also applauded. That gods of destruction is definitely not a good thing. Listening to the name doesn't sound like a decency. Can a god of destruction be a good thing? Ha ha ha, I'm so happy for your master. The elder said with a smile to Vados. Vados, actually, I'm Lord Champa's entourage, not Prince Feng Yang's maid. Vados said. The smiles of the Great Elder and many villagers gradually disappeared, and their expressions froze. Then, goodbye, everyone. Vados waved his hand, turned into a streamer as bright as a star, and quickly left Namek. The Great Elder of Namek and many villagers were tossed in the wind. What is the relationship between you guys? Confused us all. Will we be retaliated by the gods of destruction? In the next period of time, Elder Yin and many villagers spent day after day in fear. Because Namek has no night. Planet Shidara. Vados came over first and told the king and queen what Feng Yang had said. What? He broke the leg of Lord Gods of Destruction, exclaimed the king. He's really messed up. The queen wiped her sweat. He's learning a skill called instant transmission right now. The king asked again. Yes, Vados nodded. One day later, your side will burst out, and if he can sense it, he can come back through instant transmission. Okay, sorry for your trouble, Miss Vados. The king nodded. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Vados got up and was about to leave Shadiangla. Miss Vados, we have prepared a sumptuous meal for you, enjoy your life here in the next few days. The queen suggested. Yeah, don't we have another match with the seventh universe? The king asked. Food, Vados paused. It seems that the food is quite attractive, let's try it first. If it tastes good, I will stay. Under the personal leadership of the king and queen, Baduo, 447, came to a table that was 100 meters long. The 100-meter table is filled with all kinds of delicacies. After seeing these delicacies, Vado's eyes lit up. This is the delicacy we specially prepared for Miss Vados, please enjoy it as you like. The queen greeted. Oh, this is really embarrassing. Vados said so, but there was nothing embarrassing about it. At that time, he grabbed a chicken leg and ate it deliciously. Is the taste acceptable? The queen asked with concern. It's delicious. It's the first time I've eaten such delicious chicken drumsticks. This method is even more refreshing. Vados was full of praise. Although the king and queen don't fully understand Wasi's identity. But I also know that this woman is not simple. Maybe she's stronger than Lord Gods of Destruction. Even if you put aside this layer, it would be a good choice to establish a good relationship with her and let her become his son's concubine in the future. As for skin color, don't have color-changing lights. When the light is turned on at night, the skin color will become the same as our skin color. Besides, even if you don't turn on the light, what's wrong with blue? The king even wanted to ask Vados if he had any older, unmarried aunts or something. You can be my concubine. But in front of the queen, the king dared not. After a while, the king went to work. Under the queen's arrangement, Xiao and the girl Caulifla also came to have dinner together. Didn't Feng Yang come back? Caulifla grabbed a piece of steak with her hand, looked at Vados and asked. You have to call His Royal Highness the Prince. Xiao snorted. I'm sorry, I'm used to it. Caulifla scratched her head. It's all right, it doesn't matter what you call it, as long as the prince is happy. The queen smiled. It shocked me, I thought I would be sentenced to death. Caulifla laughed. Is it worth the death penalty for something like that? Vados did not explain. The queen told the girls present what happened to Feng Yang. That cat is really unlucky, broke its leg this time. Caulifla laughed. HMPH, he asked for it. Xiao snorted. Feng Yang knows that eating alone, our strength has been greatly improved, and we should be called in to fight gods of destruction. Caulifla said with a smile, I also want to go and interrupt gods of destruction legs. Xiao didn't speak, and there was a bit of anticipation in her expression. Chunhua and Chushi are not warlike, so they did not participate in this topic. Kale won't transform yet, so he simply eats silently on the sidelines. Oh, have you forgotten my identity? I'm Lord Champa's entourage. Vados sighed helplessly. I think that you and we get along quite well, why not hang out with Feng Yang in the future? Caulifla suggested. Vados, what do you mean I should hang out with him? I am Angel. It can be said that I am the greatest god in this universe. Forget it, I have nothing to argue with these humans, I'll just eat my food. By the way, again, Vados, what did you go to Namek for? Did you go to Dragon Ball? Caulifla asked. Yes, we found the Dragon Ball and made our wish come true. Vados nodded. What wishes do you have? Caulifla asked. Tell me and listen. The queen was also slightly taken aback, and immediately looked this way. Has the prince's wish come true? It's not a very great wish. Vados replied. His Royal Highness made a wish to give him and you the ability to survive in the universe space. The ability to survive in the universe space. Caulifla was taken aback. Xiao also raised her eyebrows slightly. The queen pricked up her ears. So now we can all live in the universe space. Yes, Prince Feng Yang said that the biggest shortcoming of Saiyan is the inability to survive in the universe space. Vados nodded and explained, if you encounter an opponent who can't beat you, the simplest and rude way is to destroy your planet. Broken. Everyone at the scene wiped their sweat together. Yeah, smash our planet into pieces, we'll all die instantly. This is indeed the biggest shortcoming of our Saiyan. What's the use of being strong? Without the support of the planet, you are nothing. I said that my body seems to have undergone some changes, and it turned out to be because of this reason. Caulifla suddenly realized. I feel the same way. Zeno nodded. The queen nodded silently. So this is all. I also felt some changes in my body. After a day, blue rays of light bloomed on Ziyao and Caulifla's bodies, bursting out with a powerful aura. Shua. Feng Yang cast instant transmission, and returned to planet Shidara in just an instant. Vados sighed with emotion. Sure enough, he learned instant transmission in just one day. This kid is a genius. It is difficult for ordinary people to learn this skill without 3 to 5 months. Father, mother and queen. Feng Yang stepped forward to salute his parents. Let the queen mother take a look. The queen looked at Feng Yang lovingly. Well, he has grown a lot taller than before. And after chatting a few words, Feng Yang was taken away by the king. Father, what's the matter? Feng Yang asked. Feng Yang, you see that the few concubines you have scheduled will basically transform into Super Saiyan God. When will you find a way to make my father and I also become Super Saiyan God? The king asked with some expectation. Well, after the match with 7th Universe, I will make both you and your queen become Super Saiyan God. Feng Yang chuckled. That's pretty much it. The king laughed. I thought your boy married a wife and forgot his father. It seems that my father's Super Saiyan can't be pretended anymore. Feng Yang said with a smile. King, have you ever talked to your father like that? But then again, you stayed with them in that different dimension for more than a year, why didn't you favor any of them? Wang Qi asked strangely. No, father, my current strength is far from enough. Feng Yang sighed. When I become the real number 1 in the universe, I will be with them again. The real universe comes first. Aren't you now? The king was taken aback. Not yet. Feng Yang shook his head. Haven't the gods of destruction been defeated by you? The king was a little puzzled. Gods of destruction is nothing. Feng Yang said with a smile. The one who is really powerful is Angel. Angel. The king was a little confused. What angel? I haven't heard of it. It's Vados. Feng Yang said. Vados is Angel. The king frowned, and muttered in a low voice, I heard Xiao and the others say that Vados is very powerful. But I didn't expect that she would be 30 times stronger than gods of destruction. Yeah, I can't imagine it. Feng Yang said with a smile. Then how far do you think you are from this Vados angel? The king asked. We haven't really competed yet, so it's hard to say now. Feng Yang said, but according to my calculations, her strength and mine should be about the same. Since your strength is not much different from hers, can you count as the number 1 in the universe in a certain sense? The king said. Not counting, apart from her, every universe has an angel. Feng Yang whispered, and there is a powerful angel above these angels. Big angel? Asked the king. It's not, called the Grand Priest. Feng Yang said. Grand Priest? Never heard of this name, is he very powerful? Asked the king in surprise. Yes, the Grand Priest is the great steward of all the gods in the universe. Father, do you think he is strong? Feng Yang asked. The king finally understood this time. It turns out that there is such a powerful god. When I defeat the Grand Priest, I will officially register as concubines. Feng Yang chuckled. Okay, you've grown up, you can arrange this kind of thing yourself. The king nodded gratified. But having said that, father, I found a very good planet. Feng Yang said with a smile. What planet? Are you going to do tourism development? The king asked. Feng Yang. On that planet there are only women, no men. Feng Yang lowered his voice and said with a smile. The king's eyes lit up at that moment. Moreover, I went around the planet and found that almost all women are as beautiful as the Queen Mother. Feng Yang laughed. The king's eyes almost straightened, filled with endless expectations. Such a beautiful planet, how could I not know about it? It is also worth mentioning that the only way to continue the future generations of this planet has been cut off, and the number of human beings is only about 1,000. Feng Yang sighed. So, in the future, the reproduction of human beings on this planet will be left to our father and son. Quote. There are more than 1,000 people. All beauties. The king was excited. Father, don't be too happy too early. Feng Yang hurriedly said. Father, think about it carefully, there are quite a few old people among these 1,000 people, don't you even let the old people go. King, in addition to the elderly, there are many underage children. Feng Yang continued, so, there are about 300 girls between the ages of 16 and 25, and women between the ages of 25 and 40, 300 people. I have already figured it out, the age group between 25 and 40 years old is just right for the father. I will reluctantly ask those young girls. The king rolled his eyes. You kid, can't you leave a few young ones for your father? Do you want a pot? The king said angrily. Okay, if it doesn't work, give one to the father. Gang Yang said. King, just give me one. You are really cheap. However, let's wait until the match against the 7th universe is over. Feng Yang said, no, to be precise, wait until all the universes have stabilized. All universes have stabilized, what do you mean? The king was taken aback again. I always feel a bit uneasy recently. I will see the greatest and most powerful gods in the whole universe in the future. I will talk to them about the development of the universe in the future, and then we will implement our harem plan. Feng Yang suggested. The king wiped his sweat silently. Your kid's ideals are a bit lofty. Before that, the father should settle the mother first. Feng Yang said with a smile, don't I have already built the harem, but the father is envious and jealous. The king thought about it too. This is indeed a big problem. I have to figure out a way to get my wife through. But how to do it? How can I get the queen to agree to my establishment of a harem? I can't control that much anymore. If it doesn't work at that time, hand over Shidara to your mother to take care of it. I will follow you to that beauty star. The king said. I think it will work. Feng Yang nodded. The father and son talked for a long time, and even basically agreed on the hierarchy of the harem. There is less than 1 day left before the match against the 7th universe. Prince Feng Yang, there is not much time left, and we are ready to prepare for the competition. Vados suggested. Okay. Feng Yang nodded. 2 days have passed, Lord Champa has not woken up yet. Vados sighed. You hit hard enough this time. It can only be said that he is too fragile. If he can't beat me, he still honestly comes to repair the palace for me. He insists on looking for trouble, Feng Yang said. Should we wake up Master Champa? After the game is over, the grievances between the two of you will be settled. Vados suggested. I have no grudges with him, I don't hate him now. Feng Yang said with a smile. Vados was speechless. You don't hate him, but Master Champa probably hates you so much that his teeth itch. But I still need him to repair my palace, no one is allowed to help. Feng Yang said, besides, I have to go to the gods of destruction world to destroy his palace if I find a chance, this matter can come to an end. So, now for the competition, wake him up first. Give him treatment by the way. Vados said. Okay, then you can go. Feng Yang nodded without objecting. Okay. Without the slightest hesitation, Vados turned into a streamer as bright as a star, and quickly left planet Shidara. About 2 hours, Vados appeared in the universe where Champa was. Champa has passed out and is still floating in the universe space. Snapped. The crystal ball above the scepter in Vados' hand projected an angel's power and hit Champa. Immediately, like fractured legs were repaired at a speed visible to the naked eye. Champa shuddered and woke up from the coma immediately. The moment Champa opened his eyes, he seemed to feel endless fear, and released a huge destructive energy towards Vados. Snapped. Vados patted lightly with the scepter, and at that time, the flying destructive energy was patted aside. Wow, I'm fighting with you, Champa yelled and rushed forward, punching and kicking Vados. Vados. Vados deftly dodges all of Champa's attacks. Boom. Vados struck Champa's head with a scepter. Champa's head also immediately swelled up with a big lump. Lord Champa, it's me. Vados shouted. Ah, is it Vados? Champa finally saw Vados's face clearly, tears almost fell down. Lord Champa, you have suffered. Vados sighed. Vados, you're here, where have you been all this time? Champa wiped away tears. Didn't go anywhere, just ate some delicious food on the Shidara planet. Vados told the truth. Champa felt pierced at the time. Where you eat good food. I was beaten here, do you think it fits? How long have I been in a coma? Champa suddenly recovered and asked. It's been close to 2 days. Vados replied. What, have I been unconscious for so long? Champa lost his voice. Yeah, Vados nodded. Why are you here now? Champa glared at Vados with a dark face. Oh, what a shame, I was enjoying delicious food on planet Shidara. I accidentally forgot Master Champa. Vados covered his mouth and smiled happily. In Champa's heart, 10,000 grass mud horses passed by. How shameless. Vados, you've failed with that Feng Yang guy. Lord Champa, will our match against the 7th universe continue? Vados asked. At a time like this, why continue with such a boring game? Champa shouted angrily. But then again, Lord Champa, why didn't you ask Lord Beerus if you were looking for help? Vados asked. After all, Lord Beerus is stronger than Lord Rumshi, and he is your elder brother. HMPH, it's true, but I don't want that Beerus guy to look down on me. Champa snorted. Now if Master Beerus knows what happened to Master Champa, for example, if you go to find Rumshi instead of him, Master Beerus will look down on Master Champa even more. Vados sighed. What is your brain circuit? It is obvious that Master Beerus can be asked to help solve the matter, but he has to go so far to the 10th universe. The 6th and 7th universes are the closest. And Lord Champa and Lord Beerus are brothers again. Anyway, Vados couldn't figure out what Champa was up to. Clearly looking far away. By the way, where is Rumshi Yinran? Isn't he with you? Vados asked again. That guy Rumshi is even more unlucky. It is said that Master Zeno went to play in their universe. Champa snorted, and said gloatingly, I said I went to play, maybe I went to inspect work. So, if Rumshi entertains if it's not good, maybe the 10th universe will disappear. No wonder you have so few friends, Master Champa. Vados sighed helplessly. Champa rolled his eyes, didn't answer, and was thinking about his next plan. After a while of silence, Vados, what did you just say? Champa asked. What? There's more to what I just said. Vados replied. You said Beerus would look down on me if he knew what happened to me, if I went to Rumshi or not. Champa gritted his teeth. I think it's quite possible. Vados nodded. So, let's continue the match with 7th universe. Champa thought about it and made up his mind. Why are you competing again? Vados was taken aback. Breaking the contract will make Beerus look down on him. Champa said with a black face, if he knows what happened in our universe, he doesn't know how he will laugh. So, Vados asked, with Feng Yang's personality and Beerus's personality, if the two of them meet, can't there be some sparks? Champa grinned, it's really that time. The two of them will definitely fight. Even if there is no spark, I will fan the flames a little bit. He, the two of them will definitely fight. Master Champa is smiling too sinisterly. Vados sighed. Okay, it's such a happy decision. Champa clenched his fists and said, I think Beerus and Feng Yang are about equal in strength, or Shu Feng Yang can be a little stronger. When the time comes, I will seeing that the two of them are almost fighting, and their physical strength has also been consumed a lot, I will go over and repair them together. Master Champa is really reckless in doing things. Vados said, covering his face. What consequences? What can they do to me? Champa snorted. That being said, Champa couldn't help but shudder. Yes, if I beat them both. Why don't the two of them beat me to death after regaining their strength? No. This approach is not feasible. I had to think of a surefire solution. Lord Champa also thinks it's inappropriate to do so. Vados sighed. I think it's a very good choice for Master Champa to go back and ask Prince Feng Yang to recognize his mistake and repair his main hall. Repair the palace. Champa's eyes lit up a little, and he suddenly thought about it. Master Champa thought of something good again. Vados smiled. Vados, I'll go back and repair the palace for this kid, and I won't go to the match against the 7th universe, so just tell Beerus that I'm busy. Champa chuckled. Master Champa isn't going. Are you going to break the contract with Air? Vados was taken aback. Hey, I've already made up my mind. Let Feng Yang's kid go instead of me, and say he is my backup gods of destruction. Champa smiled brighter and brighter. Vados let out a helpless sigh. But then again, Vados, what's the result of your practice? Champa asked. Not bad, all of them have improved to a great extent. Vados replied, even if Prince Feng Yang does not participate in the competition, I think our universe has a great chance of winning. That would be great. Champa grinned with a smirk on his face. On the way back, by the way, Vados, didn't I remember that Saiyan couldn't survive in the universe space? Champa suddenly thought of something and asked quickly. Yeah, Vados nodded. Then, How did Feng Yang? How did he appear in the universe? Champa asked strangely. Vados smiled without answering. Champa also had a flash of inspiration in his mind, and immediately thought of something. Could it be that Namek's Shenron gave him the ability to survive in the universe space? Champa asked in surprise. Exactly. Vados nodded. This guy. Champa gritted his teeth. Actually, it was very easy for Master Champa to defeat him before. Vados smiled. As long as you bring Prince Feng Yang into the universe space, he will take the initiative to admit defeat. Champa, you hindsight. Such a simple matter, why didn't you say it earlier? Or I can destroy his planet. Champa felt pierced at the time. Is it still too late? Champa asked. Don't even think about it. Vados sighed. Champa showed a look of helplessness. It wasn't long before Vados landed on the planet Shidara with Champa. Champa immediately obediently appeared opposite Feng Yang, apologizing and saluting to Feng Yang. Feng Yang was a little confused. Is this still the gods of destruction Champa I know? Why are you so good this time? I guess this guy must be suffocating, right? Or, this guy has been scared by me. Feng Yang, it was all a misunderstanding before, and I was wrong. Champa showed an apology again. I'll fix the palace for you right now. As he said that, Champa turned into a streamer and quickly ran over there to repair the palace. Feng Yang glanced in Champa's direction, a bit surprised by this guy's behavior. Have you really become so honest? The king and queen also looked at Champa in surprise. Is this gods of destruction really getting honest? I'm afraid the prince just left and he started messing around again. Vados, what did you say to him? Feng Yang asked. Nothing. Vados naturally couldn't tell Feng Yang the conversation between himself and Champa, and said, Master Champa decided to let Prince Feng Yang replace him to participate in the match against the 7th universe. Oh, he's not going. Feng Yang was taken aback. He wants to stay and repair the palace. Vados smiled. Master Champa is deeply guilty of what he has done before, so he has to work overtime to repair the palace as soon as possible. 10 quarters must not be delayed. Stay here to build the palace. You won't wait for my front foot to leave, and the back foot will start to destroy it again. Feng Yang's face turned cold. No, this time I promise. I will never do such a thing. Champa obviously heard it, and flew back immediately, making a promise to Feng Yang. Why should I trust you? Feng Yang asked with a smile. I can write a bond. Champa said. Feng Yang, do you think you are a 3-year-old child? Feng Yang said with a dark face, I'm worried that you will destroy my planet as soon as I walk. If you really don't believe it, you can take your parents and relatives to the game site as spectators. Champa suggested, you and your relatives are not on this planet. Even if I want to destroy the planet, it doesn't make any sense. Quote. Look, you still want to destroy my planet. Feng Yang said coldly. Champa wouldn't have been there then. That was a metaphor. I really didn't mean to destroy the planet. Champa hastily denied, although gods of destruction destroys the planet without any reason. But destroying the planet really it doesn't make any sense. Feng Yang looked at Champa with a smile and didn't speak. Champa was trembling with fright, and his face changed again and again. Okay, then I'll give you one last chance, I hope you won't let me down. Feng Yang stepped forward and patted Champa on the shoulder. Snapped. Champa's legs sank right into the planet's ground. Champa gritted his teeth, dare not speak out. Good performance. Feng Yang nodded in satisfaction, this time I didn't show my teeth. So, you agree? Champa chuckled. Okay, then it's decided, you stay and let me repair the palace. Feng Yang smiled, of course you can also go to other planets to catch a few hard laborers to help you work together, but you are not allowed to enslave mine. Do the people understand? If someone helps, I will fix your palace for you when you come back from the game. Champa promised quickly. That's how it is. Feng Yang nodded without further objecting. So, now that the matter has been decided, who does Prince Feng Yang plan to play? Vados asked from the side. Princess Xiao, Miss Caulifla, Miss Chunhua, Miss Chushi, there are 4 of them, and there is only one person left. Will His Royal Highness make an appearance in person? Who said they were allowed to participate in the competition? Feng Yang refused at that time. Vados froze for a moment. Champa was also stunned for several seconds, but did not recover. Our universe's Bodama, Magetta, Frost, and Hit, aren't they very powerful? Feng Yang said with a smile, it's enough to let them four participate in the competition. Hearing the list given by Feng Yang, Vados was speechless at that time. Champa was also speechless. The four girls, including Xiao and Caulifla, did not answer. They all knew that His Royal Highness must have his own arrangements. Vados wiped his sweat silently. I co-authored and practiced with you for a year, but you actually didn't let them participate in the competition. What am I doing so hard for? Vados, I didn't say that, look at the four of them. Although they are very powerful, they have been trained very well by me. Feng Yang asked. Is there a problem? Vados was puzzled. It's a big problem. Feng Yang said, if we let them play, all girls, and they are all Saiyan, why can't 7th universe laugh at us? Ah, what Feng Yang said is correct. Champa nodded in deep agreement. With the character of that guy Beerus, maybe he will laugh at us for only using women to participate in the competition. Well, what you said makes sense. Vados sighed helplessly. What a waste of time. But Hit and the others, there are only 4 of them. Vados asked again, there is one less, the remaining one has a girl, is it all right? No, I have other uses for the 4 of them. Feng Yang shook his head. Vados, what can you be useful for? Do you have any better use than sleeping with them? Vados shook his head slightly, also drunk. How long until the game starts? Feng Yang asked Vados. About 8 hours. It will take more than an hour to fly there, that is to say, there are only 7 hours left. Vados replied. Dongfeng, go and call Gabe over here. Feng Yang instructed Dongfeng's guards. Yes, Your Highness. Dongfeng immediately responded respectfully. Your Highness, do you want Mr. Gabe to participate in the competition? Vados was slightly taken aback. Do you want to take him to another dimension to practice? You really understand me? Feng Yang nodded. Just say it first, I won't go this time. Vados wiped his sweat. Okay, you don't need to go in, just help me watch Champa outside and don't let him wreak havoc. Feng Yang didn't object. This kid still doesn't believe me. I really don't want to destroy your planet. I just want that Beerus guy to fix you up, and then I'll go find a bug. Okay, Vados nodded in relief. It's too boring to be in that different dimension. Vados didn't want to stay in there for too long. Not long after, Dongfeng flew over with Gabe. Meet Your Royal Highness. Gabe knelt down and saluted, with an extremely respectful attitude, and endless admiration appeared on his face. This is worship and respect for the strong. Not just because Feng Yang is a prince. Gabe, I decided to let you participate in the competition and fight against the players from the 7th universe, would you like to? Feng Yang looked at Gabe and asked. I am very happy, it is my honor to serve His Highness the Prince. Gabe immediately responded. Very well, since you have said so, I will take you to a special space for cultivation, I hope you will not let me down. Feng Yang said. Cultivation, will His Royal Highness personally train me? Gabe was excited. Yes, I will greatly increase your strength in a short period of time. Feng Yang nodded. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Gabe became even more excited. Then, before that, Feng Yang turned to look at Vados. Vados froze for a moment. What do you see me doing? Vados, can you make Gabe grow a tail? Feng Yang asked. Oh, Vados froze for a second. Father, where is our Saiyan's tail? Why is it missing? Feng Yang turned to ask the king. Ah, it's because we have evolved our tails as we continue to evolve. The king replied, why do you want him to grow a tail all of a sudden? So, although the tail has evolved, there is actually a tail inside, right? Feng Yang asked with a smile. It should be the truth, I don't know if there is any specific reason. The king nodded. Vados, try it, I know you can do it. Feng Yang greeted Vados. Okay, I'll give it a try. If Mr. Gabe's tail is just retracted, I can make it grow out. If not, there is no way. Vados replied. Come on, Feng Yang encouraged. Is this kind of thing used for refueling? Champa said nothing. Anyway, the game has nothing to do with me. Win, Super Dragon Ball and you take it. Lose, you give the Super Dragon Ball to the 7th universe Beerus guy. It seems that it has nothing to do with me. The only thing that matters to me is that if I win, I can get a little nervous in front of Beerus. That's all. So it doesn't matter to me whether this kid has a long, good tail, whether he can win or not. Vados was not idle either, and immediately pointed at Gabe's back with the crystal ball on top of the scepter in his hand. An angel's power quickly covered Gabe's back. What surprised everyone present was that, sure enough, the tail behind Gabe grew out little by little, and suddenly tore the pants, showing it in front of everyone. Gabe also showed a painful expression on his face, screaming in pain. Why does having a long tail hurt so much? Snapped. After Gabe's tail grows to a certain length, it stops growing. Gabe tried to shake the tail behind him, feeling very satisfied. Very well, that's it. Feng Yang nodded. Next, Vados, you send us to a planet in a different dimension. Okay. Vados didn't object after all, and released the flying cube. Gabe entered the flying cube. Feng Yang jumped slightly above the flying cube and stood on top of the cube. Vados. Claws. That's where I am. You really know how to find a place. Vados had no choice but to stand by Feng Yang's side. Then, I'll be right back. Vados greeted. Thank you, Vados, the king thanked. Your Majesty the king is very polite. I did this for the honor of our 6th universe. Vados smiled. Champa, don't let me down again this time. Feng Yang threatened. Don't worry, Champa quickly responded. No, it doesn't feel safe, I'd better knock you out. Feng Yang thought for a while, looked at Champa and said. You. Champa's face changed color. If you knock you out, there won't be any accidents, right? Feng Yang grinned, purple-red light bloomed on his body, and purple lightning bolts twined around him. Not good. Champa's pupils narrowed sharply. Champa is now very afraid of this transformation of Feng Yang. It's not his opponent at all. Champa didn't hesitate at all, and fled quickly in another direction. I can't beat you, but I may not lose to you in terms of speed. In just a split second, Champa turned into a streak of light, and soon disappeared without a trace. The speed is too fast. Vados let out a helpless sigh. It's time to fight again. But Lord Champa's speed is actually quite fast. Plus Lord Champa flew away first. If Feng Yang wanted to chase after him, he might have to chase for a while. However, Vados turned his head and found that Feng Yang did not mean to follow Champa. I see, you were just trying to scare him. Vados breathed a sigh of relief. No, I want him to fly for a while, at least out of the galaxy where Shidara is. Feng Yang grinned. Vados froze slightly. Did you forget? I've already learned instant transmission. Feng Yang's mouth curved slightly. It dawned on Vados. If you don't tell me, I will forget. You also know instant transmission. As long as you can sense the breath of the other party, even including divine power, you can teleport there in an instant. Master Champa is in trouble now. How long has he been flying? Feng Yang asked Chu Shi beside him. Your Highness, Lord Gods of Destruction has been flying for 20 seconds. Chu Shi took a careful look at the timer. The speed is pretty fast. It has already flown out of Shidara's galaxy, and is about to reach the edge of the galaxy where Shidara is located. Feng Yang said with a smile. What, so fast? Caulifla was stunned. Ziyao also raised her eyebrows, and her face changed slightly. This speed is really no one else. Short 20 seconds, will it fly out of the Milky Way? As expected of Lord Gods of Destruction. Although Caulifla and I have become very strong, we should not be his opponent. I'll be back as soon as I go. Feng Yang said, his figure gradually becoming blurred. Shua. In just an instant, Yang disappeared. That's right, instant transmission. No matter how fast you fly, it is not as convenient as instant transmission. In the starry sky, Champa is moving fast. Whoa, you can't catch me. Among the many gods of destruction, my speed is also very good. I can't beat you, can I still beat you? You still want to knock me out? You go dreaming, Champa thought happily in her heart. However, at the next moment, Champa suddenly found that the space directly in front of him was distorted and deformed. This is instant transmission. Whose instant transmission is this? Supreme Kai. Immediately afterwards, Champa clearly saw that a familiar figure that could no longer be familiar gradually appeared. Not good. It's Feng Yang. This is bad. Champa's face changed again and again, and the smile gradually disappeared. Without the slightest hesitation, Champa immediately turned a corner and flew in another direction. Snapped. Purple-red light shone on Feng Yang's body, and lightning bolts wrapped around his body. Selfishness 2. After Feng Yang activated self-intent 2, he turned into a streamer of purple-red light and quickly chased towards Champa. It's less than 5 seconds or so. Feng Yang has already caught up with Champa. Champa's eyes widened at that time, and he looked back in horror at Feng Yang who was chasing him. How is this kid so fast? It's impossible, it's absolutely impossible. Why do you, a human being, have such a fast speed? And you say you're not the hidden gods of destruction. What the hell are you? Your destructive energy has far surpassed mine. Not good. Champa had no time to think too much, and was in a hurry to parry. Boom. Feng Yang slapped Champa directly on the back of the neck. Champa's consciousness became increasingly blurred. The next moment, Champa fainted around his head. Feng Yang looked at Champa silently. Well, not bad. Judging by the degree of his current fainting, it shouldn't be a big problem if he fainted for about a day. A day later the match against the 7th universe was over. That way you don't have to worry about messing around. Although I will bring my parents to watch the battle, the chances of you destroying the Shidara planet are extremely small. But I don't want to take any chances either. It's still more convenient to knock you out. As for why Champa didn't go to the game site, Feng Yang guessed, maybe he wants to find other foreign players while we're playing. Very likely. Feng Yang guessed right. That's exactly what Champa intended. As soon as Feng Yang left, Champa decided to go to another universe to find foreign aid. Champa felt that Beerus might not be able to beat this kid. It's better to find other gods of destruction as soon as possible to swarm up, and repair this kid severely to relieve the hatred. What else? Let him continue to be arrogant. It's just that Champa's idea is very beautiful, skinny but very realistic. Champa has passed out. Feng Yang cast instant transmission again, only to return to planet Shidara in an instant. Just let Champa faint in universe space. Don't you go to the game site. Then, let's set off as soon as possible. Feng Yang greeted Vados. Okay, let's go to the flying cube. Vados nodded, and Risheng sighed helplessly. Lord Champa fainted again. No, I'll take you there with instant transmission. Feng Yang suggested. Instant transmission, have you been able to sense the breath of the beauties? Vados was slightly taken aback. That's right, Feng Yang nodded. Before I left, I took a look at the beauty stars, and I could still recognize their aura. Oh, your harem team is a bit huge. Vados said with a smile. Stop moaning, give me your hand. Feng Yang said to Vados. Vados had to reach out his hand. Gabe also stretched out his hand from the flying cube. Thank you, Your Highness. Gabe said politely. What are you reaching for? Feng Yang shouted angrily. Gabby suddenly won't. Aren't you going to take me to practice? It's fine if you're inside the cube. Feng Yang said. Saying that, Feng Yang put his other hand on the block. Shua. In just a split second, Feng Yang disappeared with Vados and Gabe. The king and queen, Ziyao, Caulifla and others all watched the position where Feng Yang disappeared, relatively speechless. After a while of silence. Strange, why didn't Feng Yang let us participate in the competition? Caulifla scratched her head. I still want to compete with the people from the 7th universe. I understand what the prince means. He probably doesn't want to show all the cards in our 6th universe. The queen smiled. Ziyao and Caulifla also suddenly realized after hearing what the queen said. The queen was right. If we all participated in this competition, 6th universe has almost no cards. Now I call a Gabe, and go to simply train him, and I don't know how far he will progress to any AHAG. By the way, Your Majesty, except for Mr. Magetta who is still in Shidara, Hit and the others have already left, so we must let them come back quickly. The queen suggested. You're right. The king nodded. This is the communicator that Vados gave us. Let's contact them immediately, and say that Lord Gods of Destruction invited them to participate in the competition. The queen suggested. Okay, just do as the queen says. The king didn't object. After about 7 hours, Feng Yang came back with Vados and Gabe. Everyone immediately turned their attention to Gabe. Gabe was a little embarrassed, blushing and scratching his head, his tail curled up behind him. Don't look at me like that. Not bad, Gabe, your aura has really improved a lot. Caulifla said with a smile. Where my level is limited, and the time I went in is too short. I stayed in it for less than half a year. Gabe said, a little embarrassed. Come on, I believe you will be fine. Caulifla encouraged. Yes, I will definitely work hard for our Shidara planet. Gabe nodded solemnly. As a result, Vados, you stayed with the prince for so long. Caulifla smiled and looked at Vados again. Vados sighed helplessly, and didn't mean to explain. At this time, Hit, Magetta, Bodmo and Frost also appeared beside Feng Yang. Hit and others bowed to Feng Yang. Get up, everyone. I will lead the team in this match against the 7th universe. 5 of you are tentatively scheduled to participate in the match. Give me a good cheer. Feng Yang greeted Hit and the others. Hit and the others also nodded solemnly. Then, Vados, let's go. Feng Yang greeted. Okay, Vados replied. Afterwards, the king and queen, the 4 guards, Xiao and Caulifla, Chunhua and Chushi, Kair, etc. all entered the flying cube. Hit and other players participating in the competition also entered together. Feng Yang and Vados jumped to the middle position above the flying cube. The flying cube turned into a stream of light, and flew towards the direction of the ring that was built before. Call out. About 40 minutes or so. Feng Yang saw 6 huge dragon balls in the starry sky from afar. Super Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's really great, all the gifts are ready for me. Feng Yang sighed. Vados. Vados wiped his sweat silently. The Super Dragon Ball is ours only if we win, Vados corrected. What if you lose? Feng Yang asked. If you lose, of course you have to give the Super Dragon Ball to Master Beerus. Vados replied. It's okay, if I really lose, I'll grab those Super Dragon Balls. Feng Yang replied. Vados fell silent. Vados thought about it carefully. This kid might really be able to do such a thing. By the way, Prince Feng Yang, what wish do you want the Super Dragon Ball to fulfill? Vados asked curiously. Isn't the wish that should have been fulfilled on Namek? Isn't there still one that hasn't been realized? Feng Yang said with a smile. You want to have the ability to empower others to survive in the universe. Vados understood. You really know me so well, it's a pity not to be my concubine. Feng Yang nodded. It's 2 different things. Vados rolled his eyes. With this ability, I can reward my people. Feng Yang grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Vados silently wiped a cold sweat. Up to you. It's Beerus-sama who should be worried about this kind of thing. It's not me. Call out. Vados' flying cube landed on the game's planet. Feng Yang placed his parents, Xiao and Caulifla on the stands, and then slowly appeared beside Vados. At this moment, Beerus also brought people from the 7th universe down from the sky and landed on the ground of the competition field. Oh, Lord Beerus is here. Vados greeted with a smile. Beerus was slightly taken aback, looked at Vados, then at Feng Yang. Afterwards, Beerus looked around for Champa. Where's that Champa guy? Didn't get cold feet? Beerus asked. Master Champa has important things to do, so he can't come. Vados explained, but Master Champa specifically told us that the game must continue. TCH, if Champa doesn't come, what's the point of the competition? Beerus suddenly lost interest. I just wanted to see you holding back, but you didn't come. It's okay, this is Mr. Feng Yang, he is the disciple that Master Champa just accepted. Vados introduced. However, just after the introduction, Vados was slapped on the ass by Feng Yang. Vados froze. Strange, I didn't hide from my free will. Have I subconsciously regarded him as someone close to me? Only such a person, I will not hide. Because he has no ill intentions towards me. Thinking of this, Vados wiped his sweat silently. Can this kid have no malice towards me? He became very malicious. He knows how to sleep with me all day long. Oh my, if I don't introduce you like this, how can I introduce you? Vados knew what Feng Yang meant by beating him, and quickly explained to him in a low voice. Isn't it okay for you to tell the truth? Feng Yang said angrily. Champa's disciple. When did that guy Champa accept his disciple? Does he not want to be gods of destruction? Beerus saw it and was stunned for 2 seconds. This kid has a good relationship with Vados. How dare you pat her ass? Whis also looked at Feng Yang thoughtfully, and looked at Vados strangely. Sister, something is wrong with you. Maybe that's it, it doesn't matter anymore. Vados giggled. Feng Yang also didn't mean to expose Vados. You just said that I am a disciple of Champa, and I deny you. That much is inappropriate. Feng Yang also didn't want to tear things apart in front of outsiders. Just find a chance to give Vados a good repair after you go back. Besides, there is nothing shameful about being Champa's disciple. Although he is my defeat. Hey, kid, you're here to represent Champa in the competition, right? Beerus snorted and looked at Feng Yang with contempt. Yes. Feng Yang nodded. Go back and tell Champa. This shameless guy actually stole several Super Dragon Balls from my universe. Beerus snorted coldly. Your master is really shameless. I also think he's quite shameless. You're so right. Feng Yang nodded seriously. Beerus. HMPH. I really like this kid, he has a lot of personality. Beerus was delighted at the time. Feng Yang smiled and didn't say much. Whis also looked up and down at Feng Yang. Afterwards, Beerus returned to Whis' side. Whis, is that kid really Champa's disciple? Beerus asked. I don't know if it's Lord Champa's disciple, but one thing is certain, this Mr. Feng Yang has a lot of destructive energy in his body. Whis replied. What, so he's really the disciple of that guy Champa? Beerus was a little surprised. Are you accepting disciples at his level? It seems that his disciple's level is not very good. I didn't expect Master Champa to want to retire so soon. Whis said with some emotion. Is this guy stimulated by something? Beerus sighed. He shouldn't be retiring at this time. Feng Yang sighed. Shua, Shua. There was a wave of void in the scene. The next moment, Supreme Kai Fua from the 6th universe and his entourage, as well as the Ghost King Shen Shen from the 7th universe, his entourage Jebet, and the old Ghost King Shen Shikong instant transmission appeared on the scene. Several Supreme Kais have also heard that there will be a unique match between the two universes. So these Supreme Kais also came to see the excitement. Your Highness Feng Yang, let me introduce you, this is Lord Supreme Kai Fua of our 6th universe. Vados introduced to Feng Yang. Hello, Master Fua. Feng Yang nodded politely. Foi. Fua showed a question mark on his face. Who is this person? Where's Master Champa? Well, it doesn't matter anymore. This is Mr. Feng Yang, a disciple of Lord Champa. Vados introduced. Hello, Mr. Feng Yang. Fua immediately replied politely with awe. Hide your identity from people in your universe. Feng Yang rolled his eyes at Vados. Fua was confused again. What does it mean? What hides identity? Ah, I'm sorry, I'm used to it. Vados grinned. Then let me reintroduce. This is Prince Feng Yang from planet Shidara. Fua was even more confused. What's the situation? What is the introduction of Prince of a planet? Fuvana's fat face was a little dazed. Secretly, Master Fua, Vados whispered in Fua's ear, Prince Feng Yang is very powerful. Master Champa has been knocked out by him, so he didn't come here. You, what did you say? Fua was stunned, his face changed again and again, and he looked at Feng Yang with some horror. Will our 6th universe be replaced by gods of destruction? Has Master Champa lost to this guy? However, don't let the 7th universe know about this, and I hope Lord Supreme Kai will keep it a secret for the time being. Vados urged again. Yes, okay. Fua nodded vigorously, looking at Feng Yang, his expression became more and more dignified. 7th universe over there. Son Goku also immediately became a more active figure on the scene. Hi, isn't that Master Supreme Kai? Son Goku waved to Supreme Kai and Jebet in the distance. Hi, Mr. Goku. Supreme Kai smiled, long time no see. Jebet also gave Son Goku a friendly nod. Hey, didn't you guys fit together through earrings before? How did you separate? Son Goku asked curiously. We asked Shenron of Namek to separate us, Supreme Kai explained. Oh, so that's how it is. Son Goku understood, and noticed Feng Yang and Fua present at a glance, and immediately stepped forward to say hello. You should be the 6th universe, the Supreme Kai, right? Yes, that's right. Foy nodded, a little confused. Who is this guy? As expected, please take care of me. Son Goku smiled at Fua. Fua scratched his head. You seem to be from the 7th universe, right? Are you familiar? Please take care of me. Son Goku walked to Feng Yang's side again, and nodded politely to Feng Yang. It's just that Son Goku didn't look at Feng Yang too much, but subconsciously thought that Feng Yang was also Supreme Kai's disciple. Feng Yang looked at Son Goku with a smile. Feng Yang is a Dragon Ball fan. Feng Yang is all too familiar with Son Goku, the protagonist of Dragon Ball. Since the opening of Dragon Ball Super, Son Goku has changed from a mature and stable character to a funny one. I have to say that during the time of Cell and Buu, Son Goku was still very stable. But after the appearance of Beerus, Son Goku's character has undergone some slight changes, becoming a full-fledged funny type. People change, and Feng Yang didn't comment on Son Goku. Son Goku ran to the 7th universe immediately after greeting Feng Yang. Now, invite the contestants from both sides to step into the ring. A host announced. 2 universe contestants went to the ring separately. The players in the 7th universe are exactly the same as Feng Yang's familiar plot, namely, Son Goku, Vegeta, Buu, Piccolo and Monaka. In the center of the arena is a large stone table, on which are also placed test papers and pens. Now, please sit in your seats and try it out, Vados said. Son Goku and others immediately looked at the players on the 6th universe side. After seeing Frost, isn't that Frieza? Son Goku was taken aback. Indeed, he looks a lot like Frieza, but his aura doesn't look as evil as Frieza's. Piccolo nodded aside. Ah, there is such a big robot. Son Goku noticed Vegeta again and let out a sigh of emotion. Gabe was also slightly taken aback at this time, and turned to look at Son Goku and Vegeta. Son Goku and Vegeta finally discovered Gabe. Are you Saiyan too? Gabe had heard before that Saiyan from the 7th universe would participate in the competition. It should be the 2 of them without a doubt. That's right, it seems that you understand it very well. Vegeta nodded. I heard that there are Saiyans in your 6th universe. Yes, I'm Saiyan too. Gabe smiled. What, really? Son Goku was taken aback and exclaimed. Vegeta also widened his eyes, and looked at Gabe in surprise. After a short silence, by the way, look carefully at your clothing style, it's very similar to what Saiyan looked like when he first joined the Frieza Legion. Vegeta pondered. Frieza Legion. Gabe was a little confused. Did you occupy any planet as your base? Vegeta asked. We live on the planet Shidara. Gabe replied. What, your Shidara planet still exists? Vegeta was a little surprised. Yes, our Shidara planet is a peaceful planet under the king's leadership. Gabe replied, and asked again, is there no Shimura planet in your place? Yes. The Shidara planet in our universe was destroyed due to civil strife. Vegeta nodded. We later occupied Planet and named it Planet Vegeta. Later Planet Vegeta it also suffered a devastating blow because of a conspiracy, and it no longer exists now. Planet, the base of those evil Saiyan. Gabe sighed. Evil Saiyan. Vegeta was taken aback. Our 6th universe is also in a similar situation. Gabe replied, a group of evil Saiyans were driven out of the Shidara planet by our Shidara king, and later they established a base on the planet, planning to take over our planet one day. It seems that our 2 universes are very similar. But your universe seems to be the evil Saiyan who won. Our universe is just the opposite, ha 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 ha. Vegeta. What's the name of the leader of your evil Saiyan? Asked Vegeta. We call him King Dar, Gabe replied. Fortunately, Vegeta, not King Vegeta. Son Goku smiled from the side. You shut up. Vegeta glared at Son Goku, then asked Gabe, so, that evil Saiyan's mirror you said. How is it now? It was wiped out just 2 days ago. Gabe replied, now the evil Saiyan in our 6th universe is almost wiped out. Really? Vegeta pondered, it seems that the Saiyan of your universe is somewhat different from our 7th universe. You are also a fighting nation, right? Yes, but we will not occupy other people's planets. Gabe replied, our Shidara planet is a planet that pursues peace, and our Saiyan's main job is to be hired to deal with bad people. Quote. It seems that you are all good people. Son Goku laughed, it's completely different from our side. Ha ha ha, under the leadership of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness, planet Shidara is developing in a good direction. Gabe smiled. You have a tail too. Son Goku immediately noticed the tail behind Gabe. Idiot, did you just see that? Vegeta snorted. Vegeta, you know how to curse. Son Goku said. I didn't have a tail before, but in order to become stronger, His Royal Highness specially made me grow a tail. Gabe smiled and said, I've heard about you, your Saiyan from the 7th universe is very powerful. Hey, yes. Son Goku nodded happily. 0. Prince, are you saying that your prince made you grow a tail? Vegeta was taken aback. Why did your prince do this? Is it to make you a giant ape? That's right, that's what it means. Gabe replied with a smile. HMPH, what about the giant ape? What? Vegeta smiled contemptuously. That kind of transformation is long outdated. Quote. No, that's not necessarily the case. A confident smile appeared on Gabe's face. Then, you'll know when you play. Vegeta smiled. Several people over there, hurry up and sit down for the written test. Vados greeted Gabe, Son Goku and Vegeta. Okay, Gabe nodded. The three found a place to sit down. If there is a chance, I would also like to visit your planet Shidara and meet your king and prince. Vegeta smiled. Hey, don't you know? Vegeta was the prince of our Saiyan before. Son Goku smiled and introduced to Gabe. Ah, you are also the prince of Saiyan. Gabe was immediately in awe. Gabe subconsciously thought that Vegeta was as powerful as Prince Feng Yang. Both are princes of Saiyan. Prince Saiyan of the 7th universe must be amazing. Kakarot, don't say what you shouldn't say. Vegeta snorted. It's all happened a long time ago, and now the remaining Saiyans in our universe have already surrendered. Countless, the prince or something is not important. Quote. Our Majesty the King and His Royal Highness Prince also came to watch the game. Gabe explained, the ones sitting in the auditorium over there are Our Majesty the King and Queen. Vegeta immediately turned to look at the King and Queen in the audience. It was two completely unfamiliar faces. But this is also normal. After all, although the 6th universe and the 7th universe belong to mirror universes, the characters will always have deviations. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta looked around for Prince Saiyan of the 6th universe. I am not interested in your king. I'm still very interested in your prince. I don't know how strong the prince of your 6th universe is. Am I as strong as I am? It didn't take long for Vegeta to see Feng Yang sitting in the auditorium. And around Feng Yang, there is a circle of very beautiful girls. Feng Yang sat in the middle. Xiao, Caulifla, Chunhua, Chushi, and Kair are 5 beautiful girls, one in front, one behind, one left and one right. If you look carefully, Feng Yang's position is indeed a bit special. As that little boy is your Prince of Shidara? Vegeta asked. Gabe, boyfriend, how dare you call our prince a little boy? You are so brave. Yes. Gabe had no choice but to nod, and couldn't help but say, just say this kind of thing in a low voice. Our prince is very cautious. You'd better be careful again. HMPH, what's the future of a prince surrounded by women? Vegeta smiled contemptuously, and he doesn't look very strong. Not strong. Gabe was stunned. Isn't our prince strong? Our prince has beaten gods of destruction of our universe so badly. Have you two talked enough? Vados asked over his shoulder. Ah, I'm very sorry. Gabe sat down hastily. I won't let the water go during the game, you have to be mentally prepared. Vegeta smiled slightly at Gabe. Me too, for this competition, I have practiced seriously. Gabe nodded. Vegeta returned to his seat. Then, all contestants, please start the written test. Vados announced, for people with a little IQ, these 10 questions are very simple, and the time is 10 minutes. A score of 50 is considered a pass. Quote. Gabe, Vegeta and others began to answer questions. Son Goku and Majin Buu kept scratching their heads. What are these questions? Why is it so difficult? 10 minutes later, the results are announced now. Vados said, only Mr. Majin Buu is disqualified from the competition. After hearing the news, the faces of Son Goku, Vegeta and others changed color one by one. Beerus also felt a little speechless. Mr. Buu can't participate in the competition. Vados waved Buu's test paper in front of Son Goku and the others. What have you done? Buu. Piccolo took the test paper and reprimanded Majin Buu, why did you write your name wrong? It's so noisy, I've never done this kind of problem before. Buu looked displeased. 267. What is this? There are only 4 of us left here. Vegeta felt that his whole body was not well. Vegeta, it's all your fault, you are the one who asked for a written test. Son Goku rolled his eyes and took out his own test paper. Look, if I get another question wrong, there's nothing I can do about it. Participated in the game. Vegeta took a closer look and found that this guy only scored 50 points in the test paper. Almost failed. Vegeta hugged his head and almost burst into tears. This is so. These are all pig teammates. What the hell are you doing? You idiots. Beerus cocked his nose angrily. Answer every question and you will be out of the game. Our 7th universe is also gone. Good thing that guy Champa wasn't here. Of course he will laugh at you. It's a good thing Champa didn't come. Beerus was in a slightly better mood. That's enough. Go to the game in the order agreed before, and Monaka will be the last one to play. Beerus ordered. Okay, I'm the first. Son Goku nodded. I'm second. Piccolo pointed to his nose. HMPH, there's no need for Monaka to play. I'm the third one, let me solve the guy that Kakarot can't solve. Vegeta smiled confidently. I won't say any more, just cheer me on. Beerus snorted. Their gods of destruction is not here, if I lose to them, I will lose face. Huh, isn't the Lord Gods of Destruction called Champa here? Son Goku realized that Champa hadn't come. He's busy and can't come, Beerus replied. Well, it doesn't matter anymore, I'm the first to play. Son Goku moved his body. Don't put water on it. Piccolo smiled. Of course. Son Goku smiled, but does it really matter if I go first? Maybe I can beat them all by myself. Piccolo smiled at Son Goku without saying anything. Stop being so arrogant, Kakarot, I'm the one who decides the outcome. Vegeta snorted. Players from both sides are ready. The order of appearance on the 6th universe is the same as before. The first player to play in the competition was Botomo. The second is Frost. The third is Vegeta. The fourth is Gabe. The fifth is Hit. All contestants, please wait for a moment. The martial arts tournament of the 6th universe and the 7th universe will begin soon. The referee stepped onto the ring with a microphone and announced loudly into the microphone, first, let's sing the universe song together. Feng Yang, King, Queen. In the stands on the 6th universe side, everyone was speechless. After the voice fell, a pink little penguin with a bow tie on his collar walked onto the ring with a microphone. Beerus and Whis in the distance immediately saluted. A. Universe, Ni Bai Yin A Da Hen Duo, A. Universe. Xiao Qi A Fang Sheng Gai Chong Ideographic period. The song is over. The little penguin bowed and saluted. Thank you. The referee thanked. Feng Yang and the others were all speechless. There is no one in this universe song. This song is quite nice. Caulifla muttered. Ziyao, what's your appreciation level? Your Highness, is it appropriate for you not to go there? Do you want to stay in the auditorium and watch? Chushi asked. Well, let's not go on for now, let's watch their games here. Feng Yang nodded with a smile. Well, now the match officially begins. The referee announced, the contestants in the first round are Bodama player from the 6th universe and Son Goku from the 7th universe. Botomo stepped into the ring with Son Goku. Is that contestant named Son Goku the same as Saiyan from the 7th universe? The king asked. Yes, your majesty, it should be him. The only people who look like Saiyan in the 7th universe are him and that guy named Vegeta. Caulifla responded. Vegeta's name is a bit like Saiyan, but this person named Son Goku doesn't look like Saiyan from his name. The queen shook her head aside. Perhaps he changed his name, mused the king. Queen. Your majesty, are you a stickler? Father is right. Son Goku's original name was Kakarot, and Kakarot is indeed Saiyan's name. Feng Yang smiled. How do you know? The queen was taken aback. Before the match, it is natural to conduct a brief survey of the opponent's players. Feng Yang said with a smile. The queen said no more. I don't know if this player named Son Goku will become Super Saiyan. The king pondered. How can it be so easy for Super Saiyan to transform? The queen shook her head, ordinarily not. The queen is right. The king nodded. Feng Yang didn't say much either. Anyway, the game is about to start. Remember this match, Son Goku defeated Mo Tianmo without turning into a super demohuman. Game start. The referee announced loudly. Botomo immediately turned his head and glanced in Feng Yang's direction. His Royal Highness is too narrow-minded. I'm going to win this game no matter what. What? My opponent seems to be a Saiyan too. So, by beating up this Saiyan, it is equivalent to venting my anger on myself. Botomo grinned, and quickly rushed towards Son Goku. Botomo punched Son Goku. Son Goku's face changed slightly, and he hastily dodged to avoid Bodama's fist. Hey! Bodimo quickened his attack speed, and his fists rained down on Son Goku. Son Goku kept dodging. Boom! At the next moment, Son Goku still couldn't dodge Bodimo's fist after all, and was hit in the nose by Bodimo's punch. Son Goku flew backwards, his body rolled a somersault on the ring, and stood firmly. Good job, Bodama! Caulifla cheered. Ziyao rolled her eyes at Caulifla. What a treat! Obviously both of them are tentative attacks. It's true that Bodimo has gained the upper hand for the time being. The king analyzed. As long as the player named Son Goku doesn't become a Super Saiyan, it is said that there is a high possibility that Bodimo can beat him. The queen nodded. Feng Yang didn't answer, and was cracking melon seeds. Beerus glanced over there and was speechless at the time. This kid's little life is really nourishing. There are actually melon seeds to eat. Moreover, why is this kid surrounded by 5 beauties? When did the Champa guy take such an apprentice? Hey, what are you doing, Goku? Beerus said angrily to Son Goku. I just ate too much, I'll warm up first. Son Goku chuckled. Vados. Suddenly, I feel that the strength of this Saiyan named Son Goku is not as simple as I imagined. After Son Goku finished speaking, he ignored Padama and ran quickly on the ring. Bodimo, are you kidding me? What surprised Bodimo is still behind. I saw Son Goku running faster and faster. Bodama hastily launched an attack on Son Goku, but Son Goku easily dodged it. Call out. 2 green rays of light shot out from Bodimo's eyes. These 2 green rays of light quickly shot towards Son Goku's position. Snapped. Son Goku made a gorgeous jump, avoiding the attack of light lightly. Bodimo was furious, and followed Son Goku and kept tracking. Son Goku is getting faster and faster. Hoo. Bodimo was tired and panting heavily, sweating profusely. No, Bodimo doesn't seem to be his opponent. The king sighed. Yes, this Saiyan named Son Goku is not easy. The queen nodded, but if he does not become a Super Saiyan, it is not so easy to eliminate Bodama. Bodimo uttered a cry and rushed towards Son Goku again. Boom! Son Goku struck out quickly and punched Bodimo hard. Bodimo was knocked to the ground at that time. Bodimo was stunned, showing shock and confusion on his face. I didn't even see how he attacked, so unfortunately I got hit. How is this guy so powerful? Wow! Bodimo was furious, and rushed to Son Goku with his teeth and claws again. Boom! Son Goku attacked quickly again, immediately sent Padama flying upside down. Bodimo bounced several times on the ground and almost fell out of the ring. Bodimo rolled a few somersaults in the ring, gritted his teeth, and soared into the sky again. Snapped. Son Goku easy, dodging Bodama's fist, and grabbed his arm, pulling his body as a violent output. Padama was like a sandbag, being beaten by Son Goku and flying around. Boom! Son Goku kicked Bodimo out with a flying kick. Bodimo's body bounced a few times on the ring, and stood up again. Son Goku frowned. It felt like the few strokes just now didn't work for him. Then, try this move. Son Goku said, condensing Ki Blast with both hands. Kamehameha Wave. A Ki Blast hit Bodimo at that time, and Bodimo was blown into the sky. It's just that Bodama quickly rolled a few somersaults in the air and returned to the ring again. Hey! Bodimo grinned and quickly counterattacked. For a while, Son Goku had nothing to do with Bodama. What a headache. Son Goku scratched his head. Is Padama going to win? The queen smiled. Not necessarily. I feel that this Saiyan named Son Goku should have the last moves. The king pondered. Does your majesty mean that he should also be able to become a Super Saiyan? Asked the queen. Thinking about it now, it should be possible. The king nodded. Not only can he turn into Super Saiyan, but he can also turn into Super Saiyan Blue. Feng Yang suddenly said. As soon as this remark came out, the king and queen, Ziyao, Caulifla and others were all stunned. The king, queen and others immediately looked at Feng Yang. Don't look at me like that, I can sense their true strength. Feng Yang said with a smile. He has hidden his strength, can you sense it? Caulifla was surprised. Am I good? Feng Yang smiled slightly. If this Saiyan named Son Goku can really turn into Super Saiyan Blue, is it possible that our 6th universe will lose? The king showed a smile after being shocked. Lost face. Is it still too late to change people? Caulifla was gearing up, ready to play instead of one person. Don't worry, don't we still have Gabe? Feng Yang smiled. Gabe, can that guy do it? Caulifla asked in a daze. Your Highness, will Gabe also turn into Super Saiyan Blue? Ziyao asked. No, Feng Yang replied 2 words. Ziyao, Caulifla, Kale, all the people present were speechless. Gabby won't turn into Super Saiyan Blue color. Then how do you fight? Let's replace it with me. Caulifla suggested, I'll discuss it with Vados right now. As she said that, Caulifla was ready to fly over to discuss with Vados. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.